Do, man.
Peterson on Cities 92.9.
Bringing you now onto radio.
Woo! And I am live here in the studio, or not in the studio. What? It's 6:05 a.m. and we have so much to get to today, but I am out at the Corn Crib live, so come and see me. It's in Normal. It's right by Heartland Community College. I'm out here live. It's kind of sticky. It's sticky outside. It's very wet outside, but come on, guys. I think we can do it for the veterans, the Central Illinois veterans. That's why I'm live out here at the Corn Crib. We're broadcasting 36 hours straight from today, starting at 6 a.m. with your host, Kat Peterson, all the way through Friday, 6 p.m. We're partnering with Hope for the Warriors, which is an amazing national nonprofit who helps Central Illinois veterans from all branches of the military, from enlisted to deployed. All these donations are going to be going to Central Illinois veterans, and I really need you to come out and see me. I will take a cup of coffee. I'm running on I'm running on low, folks. But no, I would love you to skip a cup of coffee. Just donate $5, because what $5 does, it puts a flag on the back of one of these seats here at the Corn Crib, and we're designating that seat saved for a soldier who might not have been able to come home or who is coming home. So donations for $30, you get a commemorative tumbler, and shout out to Cherry Tumblers. They created those tumblers for us. And then you get a commemorative t-shirt for $60, a $60 donation. We have, while supplies last, so you're going to want to get out here, make a donation, and then you get the cool merchandise with it. Big shout out to our sponsors, Chef Q, Tentec Enterprises, Miller Lite, Wilbur Group, and you can text SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000. Donate today. That's our Jimmy John's text line. I also want to do a special thanks for our sponsors, McLean County Asphalt, they're a big one, Tax and Accounting Plus, Rick Johnson, love you, Ace Hardware, Four Seasons Health Club. So be sure to come on out and donate today. That's why I'm live at the Corn Crib today. And joining me today, Kev Ferris, none other. Kev Ferris is from Speechless. You can join him on Sundays from 3 to 5. And Kevin is joining me to kind of tackle this today. Kevin, it's kind of early for you.
No, it's very early for me, Kat. I'm a college kid, and I had to be up at 5 a.m. Obviously, it's my job. I'm happy to be here. But getting up at 5 a.m., I haven't been up in 5 a.m. in a long time, Kat. So
Yep.
All for you, and it's all for the soldiers. So that's what we need. Everybody get on out there to the Corn Crib. You can donate. You can also text SEATS to 77,000 to donate as well. Text SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000 to donate as well.
And be sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Rumble. We're everywhere. And subscribe to the channel. Throw into the comments some love for Kevin for picking this up today, the shift and pushing the buttons. So we've got some things to talk about. First, in the 6 o'clock hour, one thing that I do want to hit: the CMT pulling Jason Aldean's BLM-antifa song over this left-wing outrage. It's outrageous. And look, folks, CMT is not country. Okay, I have a hot take here. CMT, they are based out of, they're like affiliated with MTV, and they're based out of New York. Do they really understand country folk? No. Next, Sound of Freedom. Jim Caviezel slamming Joe Biden for nibbling on a baby's ear. Yes, I just said that. I would have popped him. A direct quote from Jim Caviezel. Next, Progressive City. Their crime has gotten so bad, folks, they are locking up their ice cream and frozen pizzas. All of this and more ahead on The Morning Buzz with Kat Peterson and Kev Ferris. So it begins. Jason Aldean released a powerful video. It's called Try That in a Small Town. And it's using actual news footage. That's what's important here, folks. It's using actual news footage to show what the left has done and what they have turned our country into. Leftists are outraged, and the cancellation attempts have begun. Okay. They are so mad. The meltdown is real. A CMT, they actually canceled the video from being shown on the network. Though I should point this out, right? And I pointed this out in the beginning. CMT owned by MTV Networks. MTV, you're like, okay, Kat, where's MTV based out of? Well, New York City. So that's what their idea of country music is. Whatever Jason Aldean is putting out there, they don't understand it. Okay, so it resonates with you, with me, the rural folk, right? I'm from rural country, farm town, right? You are too, and you get it, right? If you like country music, then you get his song. The media has labeled this just flavoring, okay? This is just some of the headlines. They've called it a modern lynching song. They said that it's very scary. They said that the racist or that the lyrics are racist. As I'm sure you have guessed by now, all of those things are not true if you've heard the song. So Aldean has doubled down on the controversy with the statement, and he released with the statement that he released. So he's doubled down, and I love that he's not bending the knee. A lot of times, what we see are Hollywood actors, singers. They'll bend the knee and they'll say, "I'm sorry, I offended you." No, he's doubling down on the song, and let's play a little bit of that, Kevin. And then I want to get your take on this, being that you are a country music fan. Okay. Alrighty. Thanks so much, Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys heard a little bit of that song, and that's Jason Aldean's "Try That in a Small Town." Kevin, your thoughts on this? I know that you are a big country fan. I like country. I have kind of abandoned country a little bit. I'm really into contemporary Christian music
Yeah.
right now, but I do like country music. I listen to it once in a while. Our sister station is out here, 107.7 The Bull. I DJ for a country station, right, on Saturdays. Cheap plug, right? For me, if you want to listen to me in the afternoons on Saturday, 2 to 7 on The Bull, 107.7 and 92 on The Bull. We're out here again live. Seats for Soldiers, 6th annual Seats for Soldiers. We're collecting donations through Hope for the Warriors. We have Doug out here. Doug was our first donator, and he, our donor, and he donated $60. So he is getting a T-shirt, folks. We have 6th annual Seats for Soldiers T-shirts. So come on out right now, donate. We're going to be broadcasting 36 hours straight, or you can text the word seats to 77,000, our Jimmy John's text line. Donate there. We're trying to help out Central Illinois veterans. We love our veterans. We are going to get to the movie Sound of Freedom. We are so fortunate here in America to have the freedom to have picnics. 4th of July was not that long ago, folks. This is the Freedom Month, July, and we just
The real Pride Month, as I call it, Kat. The real Pride Month.
Yes, the real Pride Month. So, yeah, let's get back to Jason Aldean and his anti-woke song. Your thoughts, Kevin? You heard it a little bit here on Cities 92.9.
Yeah, so it's a good thing you started off with this story, Kat, because if there's anything that's waking me up, it's how livid I am at CMT and at the woke mob for going after this song. There's a few things to note here. So one, the woke mob tries to claim that this song promotes gun violence. First off, Jason Aldean actually survived a mass shooting in 2017. If anybody knows anything about gun violence, it's Jason Aldean. He was almost a victim of it and has seen what it can do to a community. If anything, he knows what a community needs to do in response to gun violence. Here's the thing, Kat. Cardi B, we all know Cardi B, comes out with the song a few years ago, WAP, which I can't even say the words on radio, but it means that brags about her sexual promiscuity. And she comes out and everybody says, "Oh my gosh, you're a feminist icon. We just love you. You're a feminist icon." Okay. Jason Aldean comes out with the song about community having each other's back and condemning criminals. And all of a sudden, the woke mob comes after him and says that he wants to lynch people. This is absolutely insane. Anybody who is condemning this song, here's the other thing that this song hits on as well, is just how the world has changed. There was a time, even when I was alive, but even further back before I was alive, in which you could rely on the kindness of strangers. If you dropped your wallet, somebody would pick it up for you. If somebody was being a creep, somebody else would step in and try to help. Nowadays, if you live in an urban area, you have to have your head on a swivel. Heck, even if you live in some smaller areas, it doesn't have to be a Chicago, but you could live in a suburb or something, still have to have your head on a swivel. People do not care for each other. There is no sense of compassion as there once was. And this song hits on a great point that you still have some of that Central American theme of relying on the kindness of strangers, being able to get that cup of sugar from your neighbor in a small town.
Exactly. And I like how Jason Aldean, his statement just points that out. He goes, look, I used all this news footage. It's real footage. And he says, this was a song that has been out since May, which I thought was kind of interesting. You have all these people ripping on him. And he says, I'm not pleased with what happened nationwide during the BLM protests. That was awful, right? And then he says that he doesn't even reference race in the song. He doesn't reference it at all. The lyrics are very clear. And then he goes on to say, my political views have never been something I've hidden from. And I know that a lot of us in this country don't agree on how we get to the sense of normalcy, to that sense of, a stranger picking up your wallet, giving you a cup of sugar or something like that, right? And he says, we have different ideas how to get there. But he goes, at the end of the day, we have to respect people's political views. And he says, I made this song because I want safe neighborhoods. I want safe communities again. And I want safe communities for people to raise families. So this is a really cool song. And I think you're so right, Kevin. If you're watching right now, go ahead, smash that like button. Also, head on out, get in your car right now. What are you doing? If you're not going out to the Corn Crib to donate to Hope for the Warriors, they're a national nonprofit helping our Central Illinois veterans. Last year, we raised $22,000, somewhere around there. And this year, I'm hoping that we can make way more. I would love to see more families helped. Last year's Hope for the Warriors, they helped around 30 families here in the Central Illinois area. And we're going to be out here broadcasting 36 hours straight. Just text the word seats to 77,000. Looks like I'm getting close to a break. We're going to be back. I'm live out at the Corn Crib. Come see me. It's right by Heartland Community College. You're listening to Cities 92.9. We're going to come back and talk about the movie Sound of Freedom and Jim Caviezel roasting Joe Biden.
One thing I know is true. What I would rather do is watching in the USA.
The news is being brought to you by the Deep End Tap and Eastland Suites. Unwind tonight with drink specials and some local brews at the Deep End Tap.
Okay. Are you still
Concerns about the state's health care program for undocumented immigrants continue.
Turn off the
Kim Howard has the-
radio. That'd be great.
Gotcha. Can you hear me now?
Yep, and we're back. And for our live streamers, I like these comments. You mind flashing those up there, Kevin? We'll address the commenters.
Real quick before I do that, as you texted me that you couldn't hear something, what couldn't you hear?
The Jason Aldean clip.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's all right. As
yep.
long as you come back from those clips and you say you're
I know it was playing on the radio because I had the aux and I could hear it through mine. So sorry for anybody who's out on Facebook that couldn't hear that, but we can look through some of these comments now.
Okay. Bradley, thank you so much for your service. Marine Corps veteran here. I'd love to see you come out to the Corn Crib. Don't know what you're doing here, Bradley, this morning, but I'd love to see you. We can take a photograph. You can tell me a little bit about your service. I'm embarrassed for this country, and I stand with Jason Aldean. Yeah, you don't go and sign your name on that dotted line for people to loot, riot, and kill people and set fire to random buildings and targets, right? That's not why you signed your name on that dotted line. And yeah, thanks for your service and thanks for commenting. Joanne Knittmeyer, love you. Paramount is the parent company to CMT and MTV. Boycotting affected Bud Light. Boycott Paramount. Cancel Amazon or streaming subscriptions to the Paramount movies. Yep. I love it. Parallel economy. I saw Public Square, I think. Did you see this, Kevin? Is going to be, oh gosh, I think trading on the NYSE.
Oh, really? So they're going public?
Yeah, they're going public.
Public Square is going public.
Public Square is going public, which is so pivotal to the parallel economy. And yeah, if you boycott Paramount, you have to start boycotting companies. I boycott CMT, boycott MTV. I'm cool with that, right? Paramount. It's all woke companies.
If anybody wants to go invest in Public Square, PSQH is its ticker on the New York Stock Exchange.
Yep. Oh wow.
PSQH. Yep, it goes live this week. That's actually fascinating. Yep, I just was talking with people from Public Square last week at the Turning Point conference. So,
what was that like?
Just nice people. I had a brief conversation talking to them about how we use their service and even in Blono to find some good businesses to support. So,
nice. Speaking of which, you are anticipating a talk with Jim Caviezel. You actually saw the movie Sound of Freedom yesterday, right?
I can get Jim right now. I've realized I have a better connection with the executive producer Eduardo of the film, and so I'm working on getting an interview with him of Sound of Freedom. So that's something I still don't have it on the books yet, so I don't want to make any promises. But I am talking with his body man to get something set up. So we are about to come back though.
Okay.
3-run homer to put the Cards up 4-0. Cardinals got 2 more in the 7th thanks to a throw.
Sorry. 20 seconds.
And Mets beat the White Sox 5-1. Cubs over Washington 8-5. Miami third base coach Jody Reed fractured his lower right leg when struck by a foul ball off the bat of Jesus Sanchez during Wednesday's game.
Sorry, Kat. I'm still waking up. It says Morning Buzz promo in next.
Oh, you're fine. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's getting close.
It's early. I'm not used to early, so.
If you're watching right now, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out, folks. Also, text the word seats to 77,000. Make sure you make a donation. All we're asking for is really $5. That's it. Because $5 will get you a flag on one of these seats back here behind me. You can't see the ball field here, but I am live at the Corn Crib in North Normal. It's right by Heartland Community College. Be sure to come on out and donate. Hope for the Warriors is an amazing nonprofit organization, and we want to show our veterans that they didn't just go overseas. They didn't just sign their name on the dotted line for nothing.
What's new, cat?
Going live now.
Class and I got cat style.
Progressive City crime has gotten so bad, they're actually locking up ice cream and frozen pizzas. Imagine living in a world like that. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Right now, I'm out at the Corn Crib. You're listening to the Morning Buzz remotely? What? I'm out at the Corn Crib, North Normal. Heartland Community College is right next to the Corn Crib, so you guys are going to want to come on out. Text the word seats to our Jimmy John's text line and just donate $5. Skip the coffee at Starbucks today. I hope you're not getting Starbucks. They're a woke company. No. But if Kevin, I don't do Starbucks. I can't. Every time I go in there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the coffee, but it's just so woke.
Well, you could always, I mean, like, this is not a sponsor or anything, but you could also get some Black Rifle if you ever needed some non-woke coffee.
Yeah, some non-woke coffee. So skip the coffee today. Just donate $5 to our Central Illinois veterans today, because just $5 will put a flag on a seat here at the Corn Crib, the baseball stadium, during this summer event. So we're going to be out here broadcasting for 36 hours straight, trying to encourage people to donate to Hope for the Warriors, which is a national nonprofit who helps Central Illinois veterans. They were named like a 4-star rated charity, and they are helping people They restore people, they restore families, and they give hope to post 9/11 service members and their families to rebuild their lives, right? I mean, when you come back, and I've talked to several veterans, I'll never forget talking with, shout out to my boy Mike Kirkton. I'll never forget him telling me about his service and him getting teary-eyed about it, and everything from job training to scholarships to PTSD counseling. Hope for Warriors does it all. And they provide even necessary medical equipment, which I've seen before, to severely injured service members. They believe no one should be left behind. Hope for Warriors does. So be sure to donate at least $5 today. Text the word SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000, or you can make a donation in person. I was talking to Doug. Doug donated $60, so he got himself a pretty cool Seats for Soldiers t-shirt. And a special thank you to our sponsors, SEFQ, Tentec Enterprises, Miller Lite, Wilbur Group, and then we also have to thank McLean County Asphalt, Tax and Accounting Plus, Ace Hardware, and the Four Seasons Health Club. Now, before we took the break, we were talking about Sound of Freedom. I told you that Sound of Freedom, Jim Caviezel roasted Joe Biden's butt, and he slammed Joe Biden for nibbling on a baby. I can't believe I have to bring you this story. So the Sound of Freedom, he's the actor who plays in the Sound of Freedom, Jim Caviezel. He also played in the Passion of Christ. He spoke against Joe Biden's repeated inappropriate behavior towards children. So this is a repeat thing. So Joe Biden, if you didn't see the viral clip, Kevin, can you kind of explain it to our audience? Because I don't even know how to explain this correctly.
I gotta be honest, Kat. I'm also so he nibbled on a child. I gotta be honest. I didn't even see this one.
You didn't see the viral clip?
You didn't see this one specifically, but the thing is, and here's the saddest thing. The saddest thing is I'm not surprised. I mean, we've seen. At one point on my YouTube channel, I played a clip. It was just like a compilation of videos where Joe Biden was either being creepy, grabbing children, or sniffing their heads, like a lot of that kind of stuff. And that's what we have in a president right now. Somebody who is just has no concept of either personal space or has a lot of nefarious activity going on in his head.
And what's disgusting is a lot of times what he'll do is you can see the child kind of cringing away from Joe in these situations, and then he keeps going. So that's kind of what happened here. The child was like really scared, obviously cuddling into her mom, trying to get close to her mom, and he was like moving his mouth up and down. For our live streamers on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you guys can Rumble, you guys can see me. And he was like doing that next to a baby's face. And it was deeply disturbing. And Jim Caviezel thought so too.
I think you've even said stuff like this, Kat, before. All the Bidens are interested in sniffing something, whether it's cocaine or children. So
yeah. So let's take a listen to what Jim Caviezel said he would do if he saw this or if he was there. My God.
From last Friday, it was Joe Biden essentially biting a child. You can see it here. We'll pop it up on screen. He's like biting a stranger's kid, like going and nibbling a child. You're a father. I'm a father. I would never let a demented pervert like this anywhere near my children. You know, how dare you touch another person's child like that? And it does speak to sort of an underlying disrespect of children. Whether
look at the parent though that's sitting there and just admiring him for it. I'd have pushed him off so quick.
What would you do if Joe Biden did that to your child, Jim? What would you do?
The Secret Service would have tackled me because I'd have popped him.
Yeah, because that's a deeply inappropriate way to touch a child.
No. Okay, so Jim Caviezel. So for background, folks, I think it's important to note that he is a confirmed Catholic, and he's been questioning why leaders in the Catholic Church and why Joe Biden, an alleged Catholic, aren't speaking against these attacks on Christianity. And then Caviezel, in this interview with Benny Johnson, whom you heard there with Jim Caviezel, he was talking and pondering about how many people have failed to defend anti-child sex trafficking movie. Like, why aren't you defending it? All right, I hear the music in my earpiece, which means we're close to a break. Give Kevin some love in the comments on the live stream for coming in today and pushing the buttons. You can see us live in studio. We're going to continue our conversation on the Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Rumble. I'm out here at the Corn Crib right next to Heartland Community College. We're collecting donations for the Hope for the Warriors National Nonprofit. They are helping out Central Illinois veterans. You're going to want to come back after this. This is Cities 92.9.
This news is being
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie, artichoke. So, folks, for the live stream, if you are watching right now, go ahead, smash that like button. Smash that like button. I'd so do appreciate it if you were to smash it and comment. Did you see the movie Sound of Freedom? I'm curious what you think about it, and are you willing to defend the anti-child trafficking film? Kev, tell me about Sound of Freedom. You saw it yesterday, didn't you?
I did. And so I want everybody to know here. So I have my notebook right here as a Turning Point notebook. And so I was in the theater in the dark, and I have pages upon pages of notes. Like, this movie just got me thinking so much. It's all chicken scratch because I could barely see, but I just kept taking notes of different things that were being said. And one of the most important quotes that I think came from the movie, and I think it's obviously relates significantly to the content within the movie. However, I think it's also just great life advice, period, is when God tells you what to do, you cannot hesitate. That quote resonated so much with me. When you feel a calling from God, like a lot of times, for me personally, I feel like a lot of people, especially by the time you hit your 20s, maybe mid 20s, you've probably had this, Cat. You have a feeling where you're called to do something. And when I was younger, when I was like 15, 16, 17, I was pretty set on going to business school and going into business and kind of being a corporate pencil pusher for the rest of my life. And I kind of gave up a lot of that because I just felt this feeling that the country is not going in the right direction and I needed to do something about it. And so whether or not I end up making a significant amount of money doing this, I'm dedicating my life to the conservative activist cause. And so with that quote made me think exactly of that. When God tells you to do something, you cannot hesitate. I haven't hesitated. I haven't backed down. And I'm sure you're very similar on that, Kat. And so when it comes to this movie, it hits on so many amazing, it hits on the ideas of child sex trafficking and how one man was able to save over 100 victims. And that alone is a conversation no one wants to talk about. The woke mob is going after it for their own wicked reasons. And so everybody needs to go see it. But there are also messages in this that can be applicable to how we can stand up in our everyday lives, whether it's against child sex trafficking or any of the other wickedness we see in our world right now.
Mm-hmm. And, I love how you said one man. And, it's like God gave him the supernatural ability to save those children. Saving 100 kids in the stink, there's no way.
Exactly. Well, and even so there's a point, Tim Ballard, who's the protagonist in the film, he's a real person. There's a point where he's texting his wife and he's talking to her and he's like, I need to quit my job with the Department of Homeland Security because they will no longer fund my trip to try to save these children. I read an article afterwards to try to see how true this was. Did he actually quit his job? What actually happened? And apparently that phone conversation was he was hoping that his wife would say, no, you need to come home. Like, you could die, all this stuff. But what she actually said is, for my salvation. You have to do this. And they didn't even put that in the film.
No. And that's what Tim Ballard, I think, did a great interview with Sean Hannity. And he said, the only thing that I would do different in that film, and I don't know why they didn't do it. And he goes, it's probably because there was just too much spirituality and we really wanted to just go at this at a non-bias and reach as many people as possible with this message. But he said that his wife, said, look, for my salvation, you have to go do this. And he said that he wished that there was a more significant role of his wife portrayed in the film.
Yeah.
Because she was the reason why he stayed. And I thought that was incredible. And it's like she knew that her salvation was more important. And that's like you being a fellow Christian, right? You get it, Kevin, where I don't care. At the end of the day, if God is telling me to do something, I'm going to do it. And if that pisses people off, it just is going to piss people off. And
No, absolutely.
because my salvation is more important. And I think that Jim Caviezel is facing all kinds of backlash. Jason Aldean is facing all kinds of backlash for being true to themselves and having certain convictions. Folks, if you're watching right now, go ahead, smash the donation or smash the like button. And be sure to donate to Seats for Soldiers by texting the word seats to 77,000. You're probably like, Kat, why aren't you in studio? I'm at the Corn Crib. I'm at the Corn Crib remote today in North Normal. You can come out, visit me. Doug has already visited. He's our first donator. Donator? I think donor.
Donor. If texting isn't too easy for you, we get it. Don't worry. You can go to the Corn Crib and give your donation in person. Mm-hmm. And you can see Kat doing her show live.
Yeah, it's really fun out here. We're going to get to our busy phones, our text line here. We've got a major accident on I-74 westbound being rerouted to Route 150. So be careful out there, folks. Looks like there's a major accident on I-74 westbound. That traffic is being rerouted to Route 150.
Join them in making a difference in the lives of those who defend our freedom and way of life at hopeforthewarriors.org.
3, 2.
Whoa, good morning. Hey, this is the Morning Buzz. And you're like, Kat, wait a second. I like to tune in via the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Rumble. I like to tune in. And you are not in studio. Where are you? Well, I am out at the Corn Crib in North Normal, right by Heartland Community College, and we are collecting donations for Hope for the Warriors. Hope for the Warriors, it's a national nonprofit. They're helping Central Illinois veterans. I've talked with the veterans they've helped. Specifically, I've talked to a veteran who actually got medical equipment, necessary medical equipment. He was severely injured, and they gave him that equipment. They work with veterans to transition them from military life to civilian life back again. Okay, they were civilian to military, then they have to go back to civilian life, and that is one of the most challenging obstacles a service member can face, being that I talked to some, right? And they're there with you. Hope for the Warriors. They believe that no one should be left behind. Your men don't leave you behind in the battlefield. These guys are not going to leave you behind when you are transitioning back to civilian life. So we've made it easy for you. All you have to do is text the Jimmy John's text line, text the word seats, SEATS to 77,000. Be a part of this amazing event where we're broadcasting live from the Corn Crib. It's the Ball Stadium here in Normal for 36 hours straight. Thank you to McLean County Asphalt, Tax and Accounting Plus, Ace Hardware, Four Seasons Health Club, our title sponsors. They're CEFQ, Tentec Enterprises, Miller Lite, and Wilbur Group. And this is our 6th annual Seats for Soldiers. We've been doing this for 6 years. Last year, we made $22,000, and we helped 30 families here in Central Illinois. Okay, we helped 30 military families here in Central Illinois, and we want to help more this year. So come on out or just donate $5 to the text line, 77,000. Text the word seats. $5 gets you a flag on the back of the seat designating that seat saved for a soldier during the event this summer. And then donations up to $30, you get a tumbler. They're really, really cool. And shout out to Cherry Tumblers for those tumblers. And then $60 will get you a t-shirt. We'll get you a commemorative t-shirt. So before we took the break, we were talking about Sound of Freedom a little bit. I do want to transition from that, and I want to talk about this specific story. Police in Greensboro, North Carolina, have arrested 2 people on a slew of charges, including human trafficking and promoting prostitution in connection with an alleged operation in North Carolina. It was a man and a woman working together, and it just sounds like the plot of the movie Sound of Freedom. And I wanted to bring that to you today because you need to know that crime does exist and it's real, and human trafficking is real. And that's just one example. They were charged on a slew of charges. I mean, they had human trafficking, promoting prostitution, a terrible story. Speaking of terrible crime, Democrat progressive city policies, right? These policies have turned America's cities into crime-infested sewers. And they want to export all of that crime to our suburbs, our rural areas, our small towns, where we enjoy things like, oh, I don't know, our beautiful lawn, cutting our grass, low crime rates, and the streets aren't covered in human fecal matter. Okay, so while it's fun mocking rampant crime, it's tough for me because I really don't want it to happen. It is fun mocking it though, and I think that crime is going to be a major campaign issue in 2024. I think that's why Ron DeSantis went to San Francisco. The ads are writing themselves for the Republican Party at this point. You just show videos of ice cream and frozen pizza needing to be locked up. That's what they're doing in San Francisco. The ad, I could see it now. You just show a video of that, and then you say, this is what Democrats want to export to where you live, right? Like that is the perfect ad. So Kevin, what do you think? What are the major things going into 2024? Do you think Ron DeSantis had it right going to San Francisco and locking up ice cream and pizza again?
Absolutely.
Can you believe it?
I mean, like you're right. These ads do write themselves, and I mean, especially here in Illinois, we have this Safety Act, which was just held up by our bought and paid for Supreme Court in Illinois, and what that is doing is it is allowing criminals to be back on the street. The Democratic Party, or Democrat Party, I hate to say Democratic, but Democrat Party has no sense of law and order. They don't care. They simply don't care. And we see that through things like the Safety Act. We see that through Chicago having prosecutors that don't actually want to prosecute. We see that through them focusing on political indictments rather than caring about real murderers. We see that with the prosecution of Daniel Penny, a guy who was trying to take care of other people. Again, this kind of goes back to that small town, the Try It in a Small Town song that we were talking about, right?
Well, and Kevin, I have a texter, and I was reading Jason Aldean's statement about Try It in a Small Town, and he says, look, we have different political views, and he goes, I've never been quiet about my political views, and he says, I know a lot of us in this country don't agree on how we get back to a sense of normalcy, but where we go at least a day, like where we go at least a day, like the normalcy he wants to see, Jason Aldean, is where we go at least one day without a headline that keeps us up at night. And he goes, this is a song that talks about that and a desire for a safer community. And I have this texter. You can text the text line 309-451-9299. A sense of normality? Sorry, Kat, that is going away. The Safety Act is going to make sure that will never come back. It's all by design by these elitists. Yeah,
Absolutely.
That Safety Act is going to destroy us here in Illinois.
So I was at the Turning Point Action Conference last weekend, and there was a quick clip here. I got it pulled up, and I can play it on our live stream and everything. Tucker Carlson referencing, he compares the January 6th riot, whatever you want to call it, insurrection. Some people call us insurrection radio, all that kind of crap. But he compares that to the riots of George Floyd. This is about 10 seconds, and I'll play it here real quick. And so just take a listen to exactly. I think it's really funny but it's also very pointed. So take a listen.
I will say, in the Republican primary voters' defense, they're mad at the Congress. They went to the Congress. They didn't loot any liquor stores. They just went right to the source. That's true. I will say, in the Republican.
And then he went on to say, he said, when it came to the George Floyd's riots, he said, what does looting a Foot Locker have to do with George Floyd and with the problem that you have, right? And that's
right.
The thing. That's the thing, is that when Democrats and leftists protest, they're opportunists. When Republicans are unhappy with something, they're pointed. They say, hey, and no matter your feelings on January 6th, whatever it is, at least they went to the source. They went to the place where, hey, these are the people we have a problem with. What did Foot Locker ever do to you?
Exactly. Right? Yeah. And I like how Vivek Ramaswamy, and I will always forever remember this clip. He says, until we can have a serious conversation about why people committed the violence on January 6th, or committed some type of violence on January 6th, busted out a couple of windows, right? Until we can talk about the true reason why that happened, i.e. people being censored, having their freedoms taken away, right? They felt like they were cheated out of an election, and they are being cheated out of the election for 2024 right now. This indictment conviction of Donald Trump, this is meddling in an election. And you're taking an election
interference. It is election interference. Like,
yes,
if I've ever seen it before.
You know, that connects with the movie Sound of Freedom. When you take somebody's freedom away, they are going to react in ways that are not going to be rainbows and butterflies and kittens, right? Like that, you take somebody's freedom away, they're going to react in a certain way. And one thing Benny Johnson throws up there today, the reason why the DOJ is now indicting Trump for J6 insurrection, so-called insurrection, that reason is the 14th Amendment. So what does the 14th Amendment say? It says that no person who has engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States can serve in federal office. This is why, and this is what this false charge is all about. Donald Trump facing this false charge. It's really quite sad, and and I know that they're going to go state to state trying to convince people to knock Donald Trump off of the ballot. And then, they want to compare that to the BLM riots. No. Okay. Your freedoms were not taken away from you. You weren't censored, right? In fact, I would say that you have more freedoms as an Antifa member, as a Black person in this country right now. Through things like, at that time, affirmative action, right? You had more rights than the average individual, somebody of Kevin's, Irish Catholic man, straight male, right? In this country, a Black individual does have more rights than you do. With affirmative action, thank God, that was shot down by our Supreme Court recently.
But again, that was only shot down for the collegiate level. There's still affirmative action through hiring and through our corporate world. It's working its way through. And I don't know if you ever got a chance to play, but I interviewed Dr. James Lindsay, an expert on Marxist theory, when I was down at the Turning Point conference. And he talked about how the way that this Marxism and the equity that we see across the board in all areas of life right now, the way that it seeps through is that it starts in education, because then you can indoctrinate the next generation. And then now they're moving to the corporate world. And that's how you're seeing the things like the Target having the tuck friendly swimsuits and satanic trans merchandise for children, why Bud Light has Dylan Mulvaney, why all these other companies are going, why CMT is canceling Jason Aldean. It's because it started off in our education in the early 2000s, and now it's just starting to seep its way into every other infrastructure that we have in the United States.
Folks, we're getting close to a break. This is the 6th annual Seats for Soldiers. You're like, Kat, where are you? Like, I see a door, I see brick. Yes, I'm at the Corn Crib in North Normal. We are broadcasting for 36 hours straight today. We're trying to solicit donations for these 36 hours to go to the benefit of Central Illinois veterans through Hope for the Warriors. It's a national nonprofit. They are a 4-star rated charity. They're helping provide a full cycle of care to restore self, family, and hope to post 9/11 service members, their families, and the families of the fallen. Just $5, folks, is going to get you a flag on the back of the seats. I can already see the box over here. We've got a big old box of flags that we're taping up. And if you guys want to help us tape up flags, if you can't make the donation, if you just don't have it, we will take help to hang up these flags today. So you can come out to the Corn Crib. Special thanks to McLean County Asphalt, Tax and Accounting Plus, Ace Hardware, Four Seasons Health Club. You can text a donation into our Jimmy John's text line. That's seats, SEATS, to 77,000. Also, big thank you to SEFQ, Tentac Enterprises, Miller Lite, Wilbur Group. We're all here for our 6th annual Seats for Soldiers, and we're raising money to help Central Illinois veterans transition back to civilian life. That's what a lot of what Hope for Warriors does. They do PTSD counseling, and they provide necessary medical equipment for our veterans. So come on out to the Corn Crib, see me. We'll take a picture together, and you can even be on the radio. You can hop on with me and Kevin here on the live stream, and we're going to be back to our live stream. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. This is the Morning Buzz.
You've seen the McLean County asphalt trucks improving the parking lots of businesses throughout.
Alrighty. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. I so do appreciate it. Amen, Kev. We all have a purpose, and this is probably our greatest, protecting the children. Yeah, Sound of Freedom. I think that we have a big obligation to protect kids in this country. They're voiceless kids and animals. You don't mess with them, okay? like kids and animals. You mess with kids and animals, you're not a friend of mine.
It's
And
all in the book of Leviticus. So
what's that?
that's in the book of Leviticus. If you wanted to know, it actually talks about.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's in Leviticus.
Interesting. I read a little bit of Leviticus. It's very hard to get through. It talks a lot about the slaughtering, and it gets very descriptive about how they. And I'm so glad that we don't have to do that anymore as Christians, because we had the Lamb. Jesus is the Lamb, and we no longer have to do animal sacrifices as Christians, because the price, there is a price for sin, and that is blood, that is death. So there is a price for sin, and he took it all. So he took all our sins, he saved the world. So we are out here at the Corn Crib. I'm very excited for you guys to come on out and see me for donations. $5 gets you a flag on the back of the chairs. And it's really cool to see all of the chairs in the Corn Crib full of American flags. If anything, you'll want to come out here and see that and take some photographs, and hang up a flag or two. That would be of extreme help. So Kevin,
Yes.
You saw the movie Sound of Freedom. I
did.
want to ask you, the Sound of Freedom, Jim Caviezel, Tim Ballard, what about this? I mean, there has been people who have come out and said that Jim Caviezel is in fact himself a sexual predator. Like, this is how crazy the leftists think. I got an email yesterday from an avid listener. And she was telling me about how Jim Caviezel himself was a sexual predator, and that the operation I forget what it's called, Operation Underground Railroad, that itself is a corrupt organization. I mean, that's quite the conspiracy theory, don't you think?
Is quite the conspiracy theory, especially coming from someone who consistently calls us conspiracy theorists. And so I find it quite ironic that it's not a conspiracy theory when they say something, but when we do, it's all a conspiracy theory. I don't know, Kat. I really don't know. I haven't heard any of those claims. I've heard a lot of people trying to bash Jim Caviezel and Tim Ballard because they are people that have apparently in the past talked about the theory about like Pizzagate and all that stuff. But really, we need to you do your own research on that kind of stuff. Come to your own conclusions. This movie is not about that. This movie is about the very real thing of child sex trafficking. And so I can go through some statistics here real quick. Child sex trafficking statistics. This first one out of the United States State Department and the United Nations, there are 27.6 million trafficked persons globally today, and almost 20% of them are children. Approximately 350,000 children are reported missing every year in the U.S. Of that total, an estimated 100,000 are being trafficked. Child sex trafficking has been reported in all 50 United States. The 2021 Federal Human Trafficking Report stated that 57% of human trafficking victims are minors. The United States is one of the top designations for human trafficking and is among the largest consumers of child sex. Human trafficking is a $150 billion a year business. And for perspective on that, the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL combined, so all the major sports leagues, $150 billion is more than all of those combined.
Wow.
And it's also eclipsed the illegal arms trade. The illegal arms trade used to be higher, but now child sex trafficking or human trafficking is even more than the illegal arms trade. It's the amount of money that's put. It is pretty much the largest business in the entire world, above the majority of actual legal businesses that we see.
Incredible. I know we're going to be coming back here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a hard break, Kevin, so just check out.
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Hey, this is the Morning Buzz. Thanks so much for tuning in. Now, we were talking a little bit about the San Francisco crime, and what did Ron DeSantis say about San Francisco? DeSantis, well, he released a web video a while back about how San Francisco and the progressives who run it have embraced leftist policies that have destroyed the quality of life for its citizens. Yes. So this just in, the latest kind of contribution to the GOP presidential ambitions, because I mean, the commercials write themselves, folks. There's frozen pizzas and ice cream being locked up in San Francisco right now. The ads write themselves. This is a GOP talking point. This is what's going to win you the 2024 campaign, even if you're running for dog catcher. Okay, people don't like crime in their communities. And the latest kind of contribution to the GOP presidential ambitions comes from, you guessed it, San Francisco. I've been talking about San Francisco, where Walgreens is forced to lock up the frozen food aisle to prevent people from stealing pints of ice cream and frozen snacks. So Ron DeSantis, he went out to San Francisco. He said that the progressive policies are destroying that city. And I think that this is a talking point for even if you are running for state representative, if you're running for town council, this is a huge talking point. Now, I remember when he went out there to San Francisco and the San Francisco mayor, actually, London Breed, clapped back at DeSantis's criticism of the city. And she said that the city needs solutions, not complaints. And then she pointed to progressive heroes like, let me check my notes here, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi. I guess they are the heroes. And they were speaking about how, let me check my notes again, how climate change and AI are going to help the crime in San Francisco. Yes, that's what Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden talk about when it comes to the crime in that community. And, you know, the sound of freedom, we were talking about the sound of freedom. We're talking about freedom just in general today. We should have the freedom to roam the streets. We should have the freedom to, you know, walk out at night and not be beaten, and to not, we should have the freedom to open up the grocery store doors, the frozen food aisle, and get a pizza without having to have some sort of grocery clerk unlock the frozen food, right? We are losing our freedoms because of these progressive policies, and God's people are free. God gives us our freedom. And I'm out here at the Seats for Soldiers event. You're probably like, Kat, you sound a little different. If you're tuning in on the radio, you look a little like, where are you? If you're tuning into the live stream, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. Yes, I am out at the Corn Crib. We're collecting donations for the 6th annual Seats for Soldiers. Those donations go to Hope for the Warriors. They're a national nonprofit. And this nonprofit, what they do, they help military men, women transition back to civilian life. They have things like PTSD counseling, job training, scholarships. They help them rebuild their lives when they come back. So Hope for the Warriors believes in no one is left behind. No one should be left behind. So special thanks to our sponsors, Chef Q, Tentec Enterprises, Miller Lite, and the Wilbur Group. Also, big thank you to McLean County Asphalt Tax and Accounting Plus, Ace Hardware, and the Four Seasons Health Club. If you want to donate today, you can text the word SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000 to our Jimmy John's text line. Just donate $5. That gets you a flag on the back of the seat. And folks, you can come out to the Corn Crib and make your donation in person. We'll be back for the 7 o'clock hour. Kevin and I, we're going to talk a little bit about, I think, Rachel Levine. That's next on the Morning Buzz.
And I don't know how they do it, but they sure do it good. I hope they're doing it for free. They give the cat scratch fever.
Okie dokie.
We're back. I also want to talk about Tucker Carlson's new book. Did you see about that?
You look.
So news broke in May that there was a biography in the works about Tucker Carlson, and how the news broke was Tucker was sharing a video of his biographer, Chadwick Moore, who was discussing why he thought Tucker got fired from Fox News. Now, the reason why he thought Tucker got fired from Fox News was because he was talking about January 6th, all of this. Here, I can even get this clip in our show prep here, Kevin.
Okay, I can get it ready.
I'm going to put it here. Okay. So yeah, Chadwick, he talks about why he thought Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox News. Chadwick Moore, he was also talking about this biography, and it's about Tucker Carlson. So Chadwick Moore, I think, wrote the biography. So it's not an autobiography; it's a biography that Chadwick Moore did up. And those of us who are political nerds, we are waiting for some juicy details coming out of that biography. I can't wait to buy it. So a little bit has been leaked from the book, and it turns out that Tucker Carlson's wife was actually really good friends with Hunter Biden. So Tucker opens up the book with opens up about his 4 vodkas for breakfast and his battle with alcoholism. So I guess Tucker had a problem with alcoholism, and that's in the book, the biography, as well as his friendship with the famous addict Hunter Biden. So the Carlsons and Bidens used to be very close. And Tucker's wife, Susan, was very close to Hunter Biden's wife, Kathleen. Okay, so Hunter Biden's wife, Tucker's wife, very close. Kathleen is the wife of Hunter. He cheated on with his at the time recently widowed sister-in-law. So he has a sister-in-law who was widowed because I think it was Beau Biden, right? And he cheated on Kathleen with the sister-in-law. Guy sucks. But Susan and Kathleen, so Susan is Tucker's wife. So Tucker Carlson remarks about the Bidens in his biography and how they were never as extreme as they portray themselves to be in 2023 today. So here's a bit from the book. It says Hunter Biden was not liberal in any sense that I recognized. Oh, so I guess it is written from his perspective. I don't know if Chadwick Moore helped him write it. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Chadwick Moore has some sort of
relation to it. I don't know much about this story. I have some other stories that we could talk about and putting in there too.
Okay. Now Hunter Biden, so I'm just going to read from the book here. It says Hunter Biden was not liberal in any sense that I recognized. Biden has since become a trans activist and all that, but his family, they were pretty darn Catholic. They weren't anti-gun at all. Hunter and Kathleen weren't for abortion. The old Democrat Party, the working class Democrat Party, that does not exist anymore. Biden was the last relic of that. So, yeah, they've transitioned into some sort of extreme party, right? And he goes into talking about this. Now, that's Hunter Biden. Joe Biden, like a growing number of Americans, Tucker has no use for. So then he goes into this here in the biography. He says, not that there was any much depth to Joe Biden. So he was talking about Hunter Biden there, that Hunter Biden wasn't for abortion. He was pretty Catholic. He was not anti-gun. Now he's talking about Joe Biden, and he says he's famously stupid. Everyone always said he was stupid, and he'd say anything to anybody just to get them to like him. So that hasn't changed much. Okay?
What was it that Joe said about Hunter? I believe it was like smartest guy I know, something like that. Remember?
Yeah. Are you sure about that, Joe? So everyone has always said that Joe Biden is stupid. He's always been skin deep, fake, and shallow with the hair plugs, the faceless. So this is what Tucker says in his book, and the pat you on the back stuff. So he has always been very friendly. That's what Carlson says in this biography. Carlson has said that he is building a new media empire. I'm excited about that. I don't know about you, Kev. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm looking for applications.
I know, right? Is hands down the most interesting political player. I think Tucker Carlson is the most interesting guy in this election cycle. He's the top conservative. I think he's top.
Well, here's
conservative player.
I don't consider him like just a conservative. Like the way I see, I mean, he's literally hosting. He literally hosted the first like presidential forum. Obviously, Donald Trump wasn't there, but for the majority of the Republican candidates, Tucker Carlson is the voice for populist conservatism, the new wave. Obviously, Donald Trump kind of started it in terms of the political sphere, but Tucker Carlson really spearheaded it in the idea of recognizing that conservatism is a for the people. Conservatism, at least in the populist sense, is a for the people ideology. Because liberalism, socialism, and democratic socialism has been co-opted by the elites, and has become where it's much more on a worldwide scale, with the WEF, BlackRock, Vanguard, looking to expand Marxist ideology throughout Western civilization. It's no longer, they can't even try to brand themselves as being for the people when the elites have made it all about them. And so conservatism is genuinely where populism is growing and flourishing. But you are about to come back. I'm going to bring you back on so you can hear
Lane County Asphalt. They've been repairing driveways for more than 50 years. The Morning Buzz with Kat Peterson on Cities 92.9.
3, 2.
Tucker Carlson. Wow. He is opening up about his friendship with Hunter Biden in this new biography. And then he blasts Joe Biden in this biography as, quote, being famously stupid. We're going to get to that here on the Morning Buzz. And you're like, wait a second, Kat, where are you at? I see you on the live stream and you are not in your usual studio. No, I am not. I am at the Corn Crib. And we are collecting donations for Hope for the Warriors. You guys want to come out and see me, make a donation in person. If you make a $60 donation, you're going to get a commemorative t-shirt. These are exclusive. They have the Cities 92.9 logo on it, so you're going to want to get one. And then there's also $30 donations that get you a commemorative tumbler. Those are from Cherry Tumblers, and they're really cool. $5 will get you a flag on the seat. And what we're doing is we're taping flags to the back of the seats. I know it's foggy outside, folks, but come on out and make a donation. Or you can text the Jimmy John's text line, text the word SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000. Be a part of this amazing event where we support those who served this country. That is not something we should take lightly as Americans. Serving our country is the highest honor. There is no greater love than this, than to lay one's life down for a friend. And that's what people are willing to do when they sign their name on that dotted line. And that is not something we should be taking lightly as Americans. And we get to relish in the spoils of being an American. And I'm out at the Corn Crib 36 hours straight. We're broadcasting, encouraging you to make donations to Hope for the Warriors. I've seen Hope for the Warriors in action. What they do is they supply things like medical equipment. They supply things like PTSD counseling. I've seen them give scholarships, job trainings to folks. And they try, this is their goal, to try to transition people who are conditioned to be in that military mindset, that military life, back to civilian life. Now, I've talked to veterans before. There was one vet, and he tells me, he goes, Kat, when I'm at a ballpark or when I'm in a movie theater or when I'm at Walmart, I am on high alert. And he goes, I can't get myself out of this high alert state. And he goes, it's so hard for me to just be a normal citizen. And he goes, this is the toughest obstacle that I face as somebody who has come back from serving this country. So that really has sat with me. And Hope for the Warriors is the nonprofit organization addressing that specifically. Their whole goal is to transition veterans back to civilian life. And they believe that no one should be left behind. Joining me in studio, Kev Ferris.
That's not my last name.
Kev Ferris from Speechless Cities 92.9. And he has an amazing show. You're going to want to check it out on YouTube, Facebook. He's got Rumble. I mean, Speechless is great. It's on Sundays from 3 to 5.
Yep, Speechless with Kev Ferris, Sundays 3 to 5 on the radio. I also do a daily show that airs. Right now, I'm doing it every morning. Might start coming out in the evenings. I don't know. But you can go check all those out where I cover just quick hits, news of the day. And that's just all digital content. But Speechless with Kev Ferris, go check it out. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, everything like that.
All right. So before we took the break, we kind of teased it. Rachel Levine. I'm going to let you take the reins on this one, Kevin. Tell me about this story.
Oh yeah. So Rachel Levine, I was getting ready for the Tucker one. I didn't know we were going to the Rachel Levine one, so I got to make sure I have everything ready.
We're gonna talk about Tucker here in just a bit, folks.
Okay.
Tucker has this new biography, and he's opening up about this friendship he had with Hunter Biden. Really, his wife Susan had this friendship with Hunter Biden's wife that he cheated on, Kathleen. Hunter Biden cheated on Kathleen with the widow of like Beau Biden, his brother, so his sister-in-law. That just tells you all you really need to know about Hunter, but we will be getting to that a little bit later. I did want to start with
I do have this Rachel Levine one. I got it all set up now. Okay, so out of the Daily Wire, Department of Health and Human Services Assistant Secretary Rachel Levine, which we've talked about all over City's content before, faced backlash this week after claiming in an interview that children can go through, quote, the wrong puberty. Levine, a man who claims he is a woman, made the remarks during an interview on a new ABC Nightline series called Identity Denied: Trans in America. I have that clip pulled up right here. Let's take a look. Oh, wrong one here. Let me get this. Sorry, here is the clip.
What would you say to folks who think that they're being reasonable by saying, why can't children just wait till they're... What would you say to folks who think that they're being reasonable by saying, why can't children just wait till they're 18?
Adolescence is hard and puberty is hard. What if you're going through the wrong puberty? What if you inside feel that you are female, but now you're going through a male puberty?
So Rachel Levine claims that children can go through the wrong puberty. And I think there's a few important things to note here. And I want your thoughts, Kat, obviously. But the first is that Rachel Levine transitioned as an adult. Did he go through the, quote, wrong puberty? But I also I think there's a lot of opportunity with this. Let's take it and let's assume this could be true. If Rachel Levine is going through the wrong, or if Rachel Levine claims that you can go through the wrong puberty, I want to claim that I was born with the wrong DNA. I am a 5'7" white male. I'd like to, I often get told, well, you need to be taller if you want to date me. I get that from women sometimes. So what if I go onto a dating app and I just put on it that I'm a 6'4" male, and then I go on the date, and then the girl comes and looks at me and says, "Hey, you're not 6'4", and I go, no, don't worry, honey, don't worry, sweetheart. I was born with the wrong DNA. I went through the wrong puberty. I'm supposed to be 6'4".
I'm a trans 6'4" individual.
I'm a trans-itis. That's what I am. I think that'd be perfect. I think that's what I should start doing. And then they have to accept me, right? Otherwise they're phobic of something, right? That's how it's got to be. So everybody, now I am 6'4". I'm also going to be trying out for the NBA, and they have to let me on because they have to accept. And that's the biggest thing, is that what this pushes, one, it's just a false narrative. And reminder, everybody, this is the Assistant Secretary for Health and Human Services. And this is, it doesn't sound very science-based to go through the quote unquote wrong puberty. No, you go through the puberty that of the sex you were born as. That's how biology works. You can't just say I'm going through the wrong puberty. This makes no sense. Am I going through if maybe I'm going through the wrong metamorphosis? Maybe I wasn't supposed to go through puberty. Maybe I started off as a little caterpillar, and then I was supposed to go into a chrysalis, and now I'm a beautiful butterfly. Everybody, I want to be a butterfly. This makes no sense. The premise of this entire ideology is based in zero science and is entirely, I feel on the inside that I am this way, and you must accept it. Otherwise, you're a bigot. That's the entire premise of this.
It's such a shame. And Kevin, here's my thoughts on it. The reason why Rachel Levine is saying this is because he wants people pre-puberty. He wants children. He wants children to think that they have some sort of decision-making power pre-puberty. We all understand, us normal people, right? People on planet Earth understand that post-puberty is when you start making decisions. Before I went through puberty and I was going through puberty, my mom looked at me and she said, "You're becoming a woman now. Now this means that you have to take more responsibility." I started making sure that my laundry was always done. I started doing my own laundry. I started, doing more things for myself. And we had that conversation. Hey, this is your transition into adulthood. They want children to start making decisions earlier and earlier. This is why they want the voting age to be pushed back to 16 years old. This is why they want children to be making those decisions, because they're easily impressionable. They're able to be manipulated, and they want to create voters. That's the whole thing. They want to create little acolytes, and pre-puberty, you are more impressionable to campaign messages, to political ideology, things shoved down your throat. This is why they want you to make more decisions when you're like 12, 13, blah, blah, blah. And we all understand post-puberty, that's when all the adult decision-making starts to happen.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. But
driving a car, right? Like post-puberty.
Owning a gun. I mean, hell, owning a gun is 18 to 21, depending on which gun you want to purchase. But the other thing about it too, Kat, is that it's getting people hooked on big pharma for life. It is a cash cow. Think about it. You start taking puberty blockers when you're 10, 11, 12. You are on that. And then eventually you have to get the tens of thousands of dollars surgeries to completely transition everything. And then you still have to be on antibiotics for the rest of your life, because that is not actually how your body is supposed to be. And so when you have an axe wound between your legs, you have to have these drugs to keep it from getting infected. And so that's a lot of what it is and we have Steve Nugent, I believe it was, or whatever, from Scott Nugent from What Is a Woman, that shows the phalloplasty, the what looks like a burn victim type arm scars and everything from the different surgeries that he went through. What it is big pharma and big medicine using our children as cash cows. That's what it's all about.
Yes. And, I'm not going to get into stories about these different types of surgeries. All I will say is that there is a statistic out there. They have a 67% fail rate. So near 70% of the time, these gender transition surgeries fail. 67%. And when you talk about that with an 11-year-old pre-puberty, do they understand that statistic? Are they going to understand that if they go through with this, it's going to fail? Like, statistically, it's highly likely, very likely, when you're doing 70%, right? 70% of the time, it fails. So, I mean, that's Rachel Levine lives on planet. I don't even know what planet that guy or she lives on. I have no idea.
Man who cosplays as a woman. Yeah.
Yes. I have no idea what planet he lives on, because all of us, we understand that our decisions and we are capable of making decisions post-puberty and not when we're 10 years old.
Well, it's fantasy land. That's where he's living. It's fantasy land. It's this whole idea that you can they took be what you want to be and do what you want to do to a whole nother level, to where it defies the laws of biology. That's really how it's going now, Kat. I mean, I talk about it on my show all the time. I cannot believe how the argument that we are having, a big argument in society today, isn't about where our tax dollars are going, isn't about like a war. I mean, yeah, we have the war in Ukraine, but that's not even, no, it's are you a man or are you a woman? And what is a woman? What defines that? Why is that an argument we have to be having? Why? Because of fantasy land that some of these lefties and liberals live on. That's what it is.
Feels not reals. You're listening to Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. Joining me here on the Morning Buzz, Kev Ferris. And you're like, Kat, wait, you sound a little different. You look a little different on the live stream, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter. Where are you? Well, I'm at the Corn Crib. I'm at the Corn Crib in North Normal, and you guys can come out, see me, make a donation to Hope for the Warriors. This is our 6th annual Seats for Soldiers. This is an amazing event. I look forward to it every year because, this is like so incredibly exciting to see all of these different flags on the back of the seats here in the Corn Crib, the ball stadium, because that means somebody was willing to put out $5 to the Hope for the Warriors Foundation. They're an organization, national nonprofit, working to help people here in Central Illinois. Last year, they helped about 30 families. They help out veterans from all branches of the military, from enlisted to deployed. All these donations go to Hope for the Warriors. Just a $5 donation on our text line will do. Jimmy John's text line, that's seats SEATS to 77,000. Be a part of this amazing event. Just if it's $5, like then you can say, yes, I donated to Hope for the Warriors today. You can come out to the crib. See me, thanks to McLean County Asphalt, Tax and Accounting Plus, Ace Hardware, Four Seasons Health Club. Also, big thank you to the title sponsors, Seth Q, Tentac Enterprises, Miller Lite, and the Wilbur Group. And like I said, come on out. You can make a donation for $30, get a tumbler. It's a commemorative tumbler. Thank you, Cherry Tumblers. Or a $60 donation and get an exclusive t-shirt with the City's 92.9 logo on it. It's a commemorative t-shirt. All right, we're going to be back here on The Buzz next. We're going to be talking a little bit about Tucker Carlson and his relationship with Hunter. Stay tuned.
City's 92-second news.
Okie dokie, we are off air, still on our live stream.
Okie dokie. Hey, text seats to 77,000 folks and make a donation today or come out to the crib. I'm here. It's a little sticky out here. I'm like very wet. It's like I took a shower or something. But it's worth it, right? I know the fog is out there. It's a little hazy, but it's worth it. It's a $5 donation. That's it. Gets you a flag on the back of the seat. And it's really cool to be a part of this event. If you guys don't have the funds today to donate, we will allow you to come out here and hang up some flags, be a volunteer, hang up some flags, and volunteer for the Hope for the Warriors 6th annual Seats for Soldiers. Coming up, we are going to be talking about Tucker Carlson and his relationship with Hunter.
I love the way you say that, Kat, because when you said that and you were closing out the last segment, it like the way it sounded to me is as if like they were gay lovers or something. That's what his relationship with Hunter. That's just the way it sounded to me. I thought it was funny.
He's not gay with Hunter, and they don't really even have a relationship, kind of. It was Susan, his wife, who has a relationship, a friendship with Kathleen, who was the wife of Hunter Biden. He cheated on that wife with his sister-in-law, who recently lost her husband, who was Hunter Biden's brother.
Did you hear about the story about Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday when she was questioning the IRS whistleblower? Did you hear about that?
The penis pictures?
Yeah, I haven't looked into it enough. That could be something we try to maybe cover in the 8 o'clock hour. I don't know. But.
Yeah, let me pull it up. So she got out there and she had it blacked out. So folks, it wasn't like she was showing the actual
X-rated pictures.
Yeah, the actual package there, I guess, of Hunter Biden.
I think it'd be more like, I don't know, if it came in the mail, it probably could just go in like an envelope, but.
Yeah, so here we go. During Wednesday's House Oversight Committee, so they're dealing with investigations surrounding Hunter Biden's business dealings, Joe Biden being involved, the big guy. That's what the House Oversight Committee is doing. So Marjorie Taylor Greene showed the room pictures of Hunter Biden and the pictures he took of his genitalia, his genitals. And she spoke of his foreign financial dealings with the IRS whistleblower. She brought that up. We have these whistleblowers. We also have a new FBI whistleblower who has come out and kind of confirmed the story of Hunter Biden's business dealings. So there were 2 IRS whistleblowers who talked about his tax fraud. Then the FBI special agent has come out. He's a whistleblower, and he said that they were supposed to interview them. So they were outside Hunter Biden's house, the FBI. They were supposed to interview him about his tax fraud that happened, I think, between 2014, 2016, something around there. I don't know the exact dates, but they were supposed to interview him, and they were waiting for the call from their director to say, all right, go in and interview him and question him about these crimes. And then they got a phone call, and they said, don't go in and interview him. You're going to wait until Hunter Biden calls you and sets up the interview. And then the special agent was like, that has never happened in the history of FBI crime investigations, where we wait for the criminal to call us to conduct an interview regarding his crimes. And Green, she started off by telling viewers here that parental discretion is advised. So she did kind of give some sort of like, hey, don't watch this if your children are present. So they were censored images. So I mean, they weren't bad, right? She did censor them. She just put like a black thing in front of it.
Come back.
I got cat class and I got cat
3,
style.
2.
Good morning. Hey, this is the Morning Buzz. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. I am out here live at the Corn Crib. I have some donors lining up. They're ready to donate to Seats for Soldiers. This is a 6th annual event. We do this every year, and we donate to Hope for the Warriors. We've partnered with them. They help Central Illinois veterans from all branches of the government or of the military, all branches of the military, from enlisted to deployed. And last year they helped 30 Central Illinois veteran families with things like medical equipment, PTSD counseling, scholarships, job trainings. They do all of this. They transition people who left civilian life. They went and then they signed their name on the dotted line. Then they had to deal with military life and lived in military life. And then they had to transition back to civilian life when they come back. And you can go through so many different obstacles transitioning back to civilian life after being deployed. And Hope for the Warriors really believes in no man left behind. And they are helping brave men and women get back on their feet, whether that be through medical equipment, scholarships. They do counseling. They do so much. I think they even have like sports teams. They have recreational activities that they put on. You can text in to 77,000, text the word SEATS, SEATS, to the Jimmy John's text line. You can make your donation there. You can come in person, make your donation. Special thanks to McLean County Asphalt Tax and Accounting Plus, Ace Hardware, in the Four Seasons Health Club. Also, special thank you to our title sponsor, SEFQ, 10 Tech Enterprises, Miller Lite, and the Wilbur Group. Like I said, Corn Crib, North Normal, come on out. Okay, now I did want to get to this, Kevin, and you haven't really heard too much about this story, but I'm really excited to talk about Tucker Carlson's relationship with Hunter Biden. And you're looking at the radio right now and you're like, what? How is this possible? Yes. Okay. So let me explain. So Tucker Carlson has a biography out there, and Chadwick Moore.
So it's actually, I'm seeing, from what I can tell from my brief research that I did since you started talking about it, Chadwick Moore is writing a biography on Tucker. So it's not an autobiography. It's Chadwick Moore is writing a biography on Tucker.
Okay, great. Yeah, Chadwick Moore, he broke the news that he was writing this biography back in May. And I'm excited for the juicy details about Tucker's life, what he has seen in that cesspool of mainstream media. I'm sure he has so many stories. But Tucker talks about this in his biography. So already parts of it have been leaked. He talks about, and he opens up the book with his battle with alcoholism. So, quote, he talks about how he would have 4 vodkas for breakfast, which I didn't know about Tucker. I don't know if you guys knew that about Tucker. But he also talks about his friendship with a famous addict, Hunter Biden. The Carlsons and Bidens used to be very close. Tucker's wife, Susan, was very close with Kathleen way back when. Kathleen is actually the wife of Hunter Biden, whom he cheated on with a recently widowed sister-in-law. So Bo, I think his wife, Bo Biden died, and then his sister-in-law, he had relations with her and cheated on Kathleen with her. So I'm going to play a clip here, Chadwick Moore discussing the biography. Let's play that clip, Kev, and then I'm going to come back and talk about what this means for Tucker, what this means about Hunter, and I mean, he even slammed Joe Biden in the biography Tucker Carlson did. He said that
we will have to take a break before we get to that clip. Just so you know, and we can get to that clip right after this break. But you can outro this segment. But everybody, be ready.
Chadwick Moore is going to be played here next on the Morning Buzz. I can't believe it. This is so incredible to see people coming out and donating. Be sure to come out to the Corn Crib. I'm remote doing the show live from the Corn Crib in North Normal. It's right next to Heartland Community College. We're collecting donations for Hope for the Warriors. They're helping Central Illinois veterans transition back to civilian life. They provide things like medical equipment, PTSD counseling. They do all kinds of things for veterans. Be sure to text SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000 if you want to donate virtually. I'm back here on the other side with this clip from Chadwick Moore, Cities 92.9. Hey!
The news is being brought to you by the Deep End Tap and Eastland Suites. Online tonight with drink specials and some local
Very
brews.
nice to meet you. I'm Kat, $10. Awesome. And you were listening? You were listening?
Yeah, I listen every morning.
Awesome. Cool. You want to get a picture or come on the radio? Talk about why you wanted to donate?
I know I got a face made for radio, but I got a voice made for newsprint.
Or you can put your 2 flags up too if you want to.
No,
everybody,
you guys go ahead and put the flags up. I appreciate what you're doing here. I work for Commerce Bank as their IT guy, and we have a thing called Salute where we get involved in military issues, homelessness, things like that.
Wow.
So, it's,
You're welcome to. You want to pop on?
No. 20
Sure.
years in the military as an aircraft mechanic on B-52s and such.
Wow.
I come
I
from
don't know if she knows their icon, but this is a great story.
My dad and my uncle did 40 years.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't say that. I don't say that for the thanks.
No, I understand.
I
understand that. You can tell, but it's an honor to meet you. Thank you for
sharing. It was my honor to serve. It really was. And
Well, thanks because of you. We get to relish in all of these spoils, right?
It's like my dad always said, only two defining beings in this world has ever decided to do something for you. One was God, who fought for your soul, and the other is the military man, who fought for your freedom.
You have your spiritual freedom, and then you have your national freedom. No greater love than this, than to lay one's life down for a friend.
And the whole time I was in, if a military guy's not grumbling and complaining, there's something wrong.
Yeah, let's pray for these recruits. What was it? I did it on the show the other day. You might have heard it, the 15,000 under recruiting goal. So I think they need 65,000. I think this is just Army. I'm not sure if that's total.
It is. They were talking just one branch of the military. And it's not, it's reflective of society as a whole. Because look at all the help wanted signs out there. Nobody wants to work anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But they want to stand on the street corner and want me to hand them money.
You know what I did? I felt so convicted by God. I said, you know what? I'm just going to roll down my window and tell the guy, hey, God told me to give you or tell you to get a job. Yeah. So I did. I rolled down my window and I said, look, man, I am feeling so convicted by God. I see that you're healthy. And I go, God told me, hey, it's time to go and get a job.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was like, wow. And he left. He packed up his stuff and he left. And I like to think that he left and he went and got a job. Let's hope.
I was talking to a IV guy. He says, He says,
we can hear everything.
I might have to pop back on.
Signs, and on the back of it that was blank, it said, donate, homeless, give me money, blah, blah, blah.
So we can hear everything. This guy, you should get him on, honestly. He sounds really great. I've just been letting you guys, I've been just letting the mic pick it up.
Yep. Yeah, so my pastor, guys, and I did this the other day. The pastor of mine, bye, Dale. So Dale just donated $10, folks. So be sure to come on out and donate to Hope for the Warriors, or you can text the text line, text the word SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000. He stopped in. He was going to work. So I would have loved to have him on. He said no. So, but he listens every morning. I appreciate you guys listening. You guys have no idea how much that means to me. And I end the show every day saying I love you. And I truly do mean that. You guys are my best friends. I don't have many in the real world. No, I'm just kidding.
You got me and Brian, Kat.
Yeah.
DPP and HKB.
DPP. Yep. And HKB. So we are here collecting donations. So real quick, a story. So my pastor, he said, look, what I did, I rolled down the window and I told this guy, get a job. God told me to tell you to get a job. So I do that now. I just roll down the window and, if I'm stuck, right? And I just will roll down the window if he's, looks like somebody who is able, right? I just roll down the window and I say, God, look, God told me to tell you to get a job, man. I do. They have no idea what to say. And there are sometimes like the Romanian refugees whom I talked to for the story. It was just incredible to hear how he had to get a van and he crossed the US-Mexico border, and these guys with guns were, there, and he had to pay this guy like $3,000 in order to get across to the United States. I gave him some money, right? So it's all about what you're called to do. And I hope God is convicting your heart today to donate at least $5 to Seats for Soldiers. Seats, text the word SEATS to 77,000 to donate to Seats for Soldiers today. Maybe God is pulling at your heartstrings today, and he's saying, look, I gave you your spiritual freedom. These people give you your your national freedom, and you guys should donate. Or come on out and see me, say hi, and hang up a flag. I'm cool with that too. Hang up a flag. We're going to be hanging flags to mark the seats for every $5 donation that you make today.
I follow her at 9 on Cities 92.9.
Three, two.
CMT pulling the Jason Aldean BLM-antifa song after this left-wing meltdown outrage. I will be getting back to that song. We played it in the 6 o'clock hour. It's called Try That in a Small Town, and they use actual news footage to show what the left had turned the country into back in 2020, what they're currently turning it into. Leftists are outraged. They're calling for the cancellation. They're making attempts to cancel the song Try That in a Small Town. I think it boosted up to #1 on iTunes. But CMT is trying to cancel Jason Aldean for that song, and I think the song is absolutely incredible. We're going to be getting to that here in just a little bit. Before we took the break, I was talking about Tucker Carlson. Now, before I get to Tucker Carlson and his relationship with the Bidens, we are out here live at the Corn Crib. I talked with Dale, Doug this morning. There are donors in person this morning. They came out to donate to Hope for the Warriors. Hope for the Warriors, they are a national nonprofit, and they help Central Illinois veterans. They actually helped about 30 families last year. We donated like $22,000. The Bloomington Normal community, we got together $22,000 for our service men and women, these brave men and women who have to transition back to civilian life. And that can be hard. That can be really hard. And, Dale and I, we were talking about how God gives us our spiritual freedom and how these brave men and women give us our national freedoms. They're the reason why you can have a picnic on the 4th of July with your family. They're the reason why you can go into the grocery store and pick out the ice cream pint and the frozen pizzas, right? This is why we have these wonderful spoils in America. It's because they signed their name on the dotted line. Now, Hope for the Warriors, they provide things like PTSD counseling. I've seen that they've provided medical equipment for severely injured service members. They do things like job training, which can be really hard. Sitting through and going through these training modules, right? That's hard for somebody who's just a civilian. But imagine like living in a military mindset for years and years and years, and then coming back to a country where you have to sit down at a computer and go through all of these training modules or something at a job, and you can't. I talked to a guy one time, and I'll never forget it. He said that he had such a hard time transitioning back to civilian life, and he couldn't go inside a Walmart because he was just at such a heightened state of mind after coming back from a combat zone. So be sure to donate today. $5 will get you a flag on the back of a seat in the crib. Now, let's get to the Tucker Carlson story. Like I said, Tucker Carlson has a relationship with Hunter, kind of. Now, the Carlsons, the Bidens, they used to be very close. Tucker's wife, Susan, was very close with Hunter's first wife, Kathleen. Now, Kathleen was the wife Hunter Biden cheated on with his, at the time, recently widowed sister-in-law. So let's fire up this clip of Chadwick Moore discussing the biography that he is writing on Tucker's behalf. I can't wait for the juicy details to come out of the biography, but I have some of the biography here that I'm going to read to you. But let's listen to Chadwick Moore. Here we go.
So real quick, Kat, this video is about 2 minutes long. Just start talking when you want to keep going. Okay.
Sounds great.
Chadwick Moore here. I'm the author of a new biography about Tucker Carlson titled Tucker. I have spent the last year researching and writing this book. And during that time, I've gotten to know Tucker, his family, his friends, and his staff very well. In fact, I've gotten to know Tucker, the person, not the caricature that his enemies try to portray. I was working closely with Tucker when he was taken off the air by Fox. And as some of you know, I was also a regular on his show. And I happened to be a guest on the final episode of the show, which was on April 21st. I've also seen the monologue that Tucker planned to deliver on Monday, April 24th, before his show was abruptly taken off the air. That monologue dealt with, among other things, investigations around January 6th, and particularly Ray Epps, the only person captured on video inciting people to violence at the Capitol that day, and allegedly an FBI informant who still has not been arrested or charged. Ironically, a good part of the monologue also dealt with the people and forces that are trying to silence him, like AOC and others in government. It has now been reported that his firing was a condition demanded by Dominion as part of the settlement with Fox. Although Dominion has denied this, my sources have intimate knowledge of the situation, and they have assured me, even before this news leaked, that that is, in fact, the truth.
All right,
if that is true, it would mean that a small group.
That is Chadwick Moore, who is working on this biography. It's called Tucker, and it's about Tucker Carlson's life. And there he talks about, his speculation surrounding Tucker Carlson's firing. Now, I've got a bit of the biography that this guy has been working on. Here it is. Hunter Biden was not liberal in any sense that I recognized. Biden, being Hunter Biden, has since become a trans activist and all of that, but his family, they were pretty Catholic, and they weren't anti-gun at all. Hunter and Kathleen weren't for abortion. They were the old Democrat Party, the working class Democrat Party that doesn't exist anymore. Hunter Biden was about the last relic of that. And now that's Hunter Biden. Joe Biden, like a growing number of Americans, Tucker has no use for, so he blasts him in this biography. I'm just going to read from the biography here. Here it goes. Not that there was ever much depth to Joe Biden. He's famously stupid. Everyone always says he was stupid. Everyone has always said he's stupid, and he'd say anything to be liked, right? That hasn't changed. He was always skin deep, fake, and shallow with hair plugs and facelifts and the pat you on the back type stuff. But he was always very friendly. So, Joe Biden is not a friendly character at all. He's very mean, actually, in a lot of these clips of that I've played for you in the past. He lashes out at reporters. I think he called, that reporter an SOB, right? And Carlson, who is planning on building this new media empire, I think is the most influential, most important, interesting political player this election cycle. And I'm so excited for this biography to come out. I just found this interesting that he had some kind of relationship with Hunter Biden, and he's going to have an interesting take on this old Democrat Party not existing anymore. And I think he's going to talk about that in his biography. So, Kevin, let's switch gears. Leah Thomas, an Antifa super soldier. I'm going to let you take the reins on this one. You're listening to Cities 92.9. I'm alive out at the Corn Crib, folks. You guys are going to want to come on out and make a donation in person. I've talked to Doug. I've talked to Dale this morning. They made some donations to Hope for the Warriors. Hope for the Warriors is a national nonprofit helping Central Illinois veterans right here. Last year, they helped about 30 families. We raised about $22,000. I want to raise way more than that. I hope that we raise way more than that this year, because if there's any year that these veterans deserve a thank you, it's this year. They fight for our freedoms. They fight for our ability to have picnics, to go into the grocery store, buy a pizza, buy a pint of ice cream, right? We wouldn't be able to do that in this country had it not been for the brave women and men of this country who signed their name on the dotted line and went through all kinds of traumatic experiences and had to make a lot of sacrifices. So be sure to text SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000 to donate to Seats for the Soldiers. And I do want to say a quick special thank you to our sponsors. That's McLean County Asphalt, Tax and Accounting, plus Ace Hardware and the Four Seasons Health Club. Then our title sponsors, that's SEFQ, Tentec Enterprises, Miller Lite, and the Wilbur Group. Text the Jimmy John's text line, SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000. Just make a $5 donation, guys. Skip the coffee today and just make a $5 donation. Kev, Leah Thomas, an Antifa super soldier. Explain what that means.
Okay, so I'm at a loss a little bit too, but out of the Daily Wire, trans-identifying swimmer Leah Thomas, who made waves as the Penn State swimmer for the NCAA, also swam against Riley Gaines, who I had on my show about a month ago. So this is, again, a man who pretends to be a woman, Leah Thomas, dressed as the part of a, quote, Antifa super soldier. If you're on our live stream right now, you can go check that out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and you can take a look. Actually, this one's not on Twitch, but I'm pulling up the picture right here, posted, I believe, by Thomas, in which this man is wearing or it was actually shared an Instagram post by the partner of Leah Thomas, Gwen Luxembourg, of Leah, in a shirt that says Antifa super soldier. Thomas, who made headlines competing for the women's NCAA swimming championship while still a fully intact biological male, wore, you can see here in the picture, or if you're listening on the radio, wore all black, sunglasses, black shorts, a black BDSM harness, and a black shirt emblazoned with the words Antifa super soldier, whatever that means. And so apparently Leah Thomas is an Antifa super soldier. And so I was thinking about this a little bit, and I was thinking about a quote by Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, a famous poet and civil rights activist, at one point said, "When people show you who they are, believe them the first time." And so this is like a really quick story simply for the fact that I'm not surprised. This is super on brand for Leah Thomas. Antifa, which is, I don't necessarily know if it's legally recognized as this, but we can all kind of safely say Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization. And Leah Thomas has been causing issues domestically when he decided to cosplay as a woman because he was a unsuccessful male college swimmer. And so he decided to cosplay as a woman so then he could actually start winning races. And so he's been causing issues like this. He's shown his true colors. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And Leah, I believed you the first time. Kat, what do you think about this? Leah Thomas wearing a Antifa super soldier shirt.
Mentally ill people doing mentally ill things. Like, that's like, at this point, if you identify as some sort of Antifa soldier, then like do you realize what Antifa has done? They were up in, and I forget where this was at, those tree houses, and I forget what state was that in. I forget, Georgia. That's where it was at. And they were in these tree houses, and they created almost an autonomous zone, and they were shooting at people. They were killing people.
Well, I'm old enough to remember, Kat, it wasn't just Georgia. They had Chaz, I believe, in Portland, Oregon, and CHOP, and they set up a lot of autonomous zones, which were, wasn't that quite the time? I love how we just kind of go through life and we need a reminder of those autonomous zones, because that was such a weird time in our history.
Yes. Yeah, and it's sick what Antifa has done to the country, and the fact that in 2023 you're claiming to be Antifa and you have no idea the connotations that come with that word Antifa and that group. Not to mention BLM, right? If you're a BLM activist, that organization has been known to be money laundering and stealing people's money, right? So like, this is no longer conspiracy. This is no longer right wing to say that Antifa and BLM are domestic terrorist groups. They're extremist groups who hurt people, right? So we do have to take a break. I'm excited. Bruce is going to be joining me here in just a little bit. He showed up to make a donation to Hope for the Warriors through our 6th annual Seats for Soldiers event. We're hanging up flags here. If you guys could really help us out, hang up flags. Every flag means that there was a $5 donation given to Hope for the Warriors, and they're helping out veterans. And what they specialize in, folks, is transitioning veterans back to civilian life, which is an obstacle that veterans will tell you is probably the hardest thing that they have to do, to transition back to civilian life. So you're listening to Cities 92.9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Text the word seats into our Jimmy John's text line. That's 77,000 seats, SEATS, to 77,000 to donate to Seats for Soldiers. We'll be back.
This news is being brought to you by.
The news is brought to you by me, Ryan Scritchlow of Scritchlow Slabjacking. Here's some news. Most people wait until they trip and fall on sunken concrete before they call me. So call me before that happens, and I'll level with you on how to fix it.
Concerns about the state's healthcare program.
So thank you guys so much for joining us. Kat must have had to take a break real quick, but thank you for joining this live stream. I am Kev Ferris. For anybody who does not know me or has not seen me before, I host a show called Speechless on Sundays from 3 to 5. I also have my YouTube channel where I post daily content of quick hits, news of the day. I have my show for today airing at 9:15 on my YouTube channel. So right after Kat's show gets done, if you want some more news, that is, and I actually have an interview scheduled for today, not at 9:15. It's going to be for my show tomorrow with an Indiana University student who was being taken off of his student government for voicing for voicing anti-Pride Month messages. Very interesting. I always like to cover when somebody is not allowed to speak their mind. I always have an issue with that, but I want to drive everybody. Make sure you're liking this video. Push the like button, slam that like button. Leave us a comment. What are you thinking about everything we're talking about here? And don't forget to text 77,000 or seats to 77,000 because we need to be helping out Hope for Warriors and these veterans and support our cause with Seats for Soldiers, because it's an amazing event that we put on for now 6 years here through Great Plains Media, Cities 92.9, and we have a lot of fun. So hope everybody's doing well. I'm hoping. There we go. We got Kat coming back now, I believe. Here you are.
Hello. Thanks so much. We've got Bruce here. Gonna sit down with me here, and Bruce is joining me here on the Morning Buzz. Bruce, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing well, Kat, and you?
I'm great. You're donating to Hope for the Warriors. That's so nice. $200, awesome. From the McLean County Sportsman Club. Tell me about the McLean County Sportsman Club and what you do there, and a little bit about that organization.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, Kat, thanks. McLean County Sportsman Associations have been around for 32 years now. We do community service for youth organizations to get kids in the outdoors. We sponsor fishing trips, hunting trips, hunter safety courses, things such as that to get kids out. We do have an archery range out at Lake Evergreen that we sponsor, and we've got one at Dawson Lake that we sponsor too that's open to the public.
I absolutely love archery. So I tried it for the first time and I'm going to have to get in contact with you and set it up. I would love to come out and do some archery. It's an expensive hobby. I was looking at a bow and I was like, what? These things cost so much money, but it's a lot of fun. And Bruce actually goes to my gym. So a shout out to Anytime Fitness. We are avid gym goers and we always go around the same time. But thanks so much for the check for Hope for the Warriors. And you've got another one. Are you guys encouraging people to match?
Yes. So we've got another check here. So the first group or organization individual that would like to match us, we're asking you to match our donation of $300.
$300. They are matching that donation to $300 for Hope for the Warriors. We're coming back to the radio, so I'm going to have you on for just a couple more seconds. This is Cities 92.9.
3, 2, 1.
CMT, they're canceling and they're pulling Jason Aldean's BLM and Antifa song after this left-wing outrage. Then we're going to get to Sound of Freedom's Jim Caviezel slamming Joe Biden for nibbling on a baby. Yes, I said that out loud. Joe Biden nibbling on a baby. Now we have Jim Caviezel slamming Joe Biden for that. We're going to get to all of that here in the 8 o'clock hour. But right now, Bruce is from the McLean County Sportsman Club, and he made some donations here. And he is wanting to encourage people to match that donation. So, Bruce, tell me a little bit about McLean County Sportsman Club and why you made the donation today.
Yeah, because this is for the soldiers, those that come back, those who have served. It also helps out families that are here left behind. So freedom is not free. We've got several members that have served in the service. My son is in Syria right now for 10 months. So, our family is seeing this as well. So freedom is not free. And thank you all have served and the families that support them while they're gone.
Wow, your son is in Syria right now?
Yes.
I did not know that, Bruce. Bruce is a friend of mine. We go to the same gym. And I love the McLean County Sportsman Club. Can you tell me your son's name?
That's Matt.
Matt. Well, we're praying for Matt here as a team, and we hope that he comes back. He's going to come back, ready to go and transition back to civilian life here. So when did he join? And is he a Marine?
He's in the Army. He's an anesthesiologist in the Army. So he's in his 16th year. So he's going to do a few more years, and then he's going to get out. But he's on his 5th deployment right now. So I can honestly say I see the differences when they leave and when they come back. It is a struggle for them and the family.
Wow. Well, thank you. There's a lot of sacrifices that come. He's sacrificing that time to be with you, your wife, right? Whom I met, lovely woman. And, it's hard I find it hard just as an American, right? Or just as a normal citizen, a normal civilian, to be away from my family. Imagine being miles away in Syria. So I thank you for your service, and I thank you for being a service a service family. And guys, right now, text the word SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000 to donate for Hope for the Warriors. And McLean County Sportsmen, they are wanting you to match their donation. So tell us a little bit about the donation, and what are you calling on people to do today?
Yeah, so we made an additional donation of $300 on top of our other donation, and we're going to match the first $300 at any group, organization, or individual that would like to pledge it to $300. So come out and see Kat, give her some cash, and help out the Seats for Soldiers.
You hear that? So McLean County Sportsman Club, they are encouraging you to match this donation today of $300. Please match it. I would love for you guys to match it in this last hour here, the 8 o'clock hour. That would be great. If you could get $300, if you want to come out to the Corn Crib and make that donation, that would be fantastic. We're right here by Heartland Community College, and you can make the donation also on our text line. That's 77,000. Text the word SEATS, SEATS. Now, I'm excited to see all the flags on the back of the chair. So you were here last year. Can you describe to our audience what it looks like when it's all said and done here at the Corn Crib?
Yeah, this is our 6th year for doing this. So it is an awesome event. It's just a beautiful setting to see all the American flags, the spirit, the patriotism, and all that. So if you get a chance, come out and watch the game. Come out, sit in a seat, and watch the game. Support the group. It's very good.
Yeah, so we will be here for 36 hours straight live broadcasting, and we go all the way up until the home game here at the Corn Crib. The Corn Belters, they're going to be playing some baseball on Friday night. So we're going to be here all through Thursday, all through Friday. We stay the night out here, and we broadcast 36 hours straight. So be sure to come on out and donate to Hope for the Warriors, Seats for Soldiers. Bruce, again, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks, Kat.
All right, guys, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking a little bit about, I want to talk about CMT and Jason Aldean, the BLM-antifa song, and then Sound of Freedom, Jim Caviezel. He's slamming Joe Biden for nibbling on the baby's ear. Now, Bruce, I've got to ask you, I know you listen to the show. Have you seen this clip of Joe Biden nibbling on the child's ear?
Yeah, I have. It's pretty disgusting.
I know, it's insanity. Like, I laugh because I can't believe that this is happening in America. But did you see the movie Sound of Freedom?
Not yet. Have not.
Not yet. Yeah, it's a great film. I encourage you to go see it. But also, what do you think about Jason Aldean's song? Have you heard Try That in a Small Town?
Yeah, it's an outstanding song. It's a great patriotic song. It represents where we are truly at the country right now. So it is all about small towns.
Yeah, so let me ask you kind of a personal question, being that you told me that your son is out in Syria and he's an anesthesiologist for the army. What do you think about the country and the state it's in? We're going to have to take a break, but I would love for you to stay over if you can. If not, you can just tell me, and then I'll tell our friends on the radio. But I've got to take a break, hard break. 7:58 a.m. here on the Morning Buzz. We're going to be back for the 8 o'clock hour. Come back to listen to Bruce talk about what the state of our country is in right now and how he feels about it being that his son is in Syria serving this wonderful country of ours. Freedom isn't free. I like that quote, Bruce. I'll be back. This is The Buzz. Hey, Mr. Jeremy DeHigh. How are you?
You are off the air.
Yeah, right here is good. Thank
She
you. Thank
took
you.
her headphones off.
Appreciate it. You want a t-shirt?
Me.
Awesome. Bruce, I'll get you a t-shirt.
But everybody, don't forget to go text seats to 77,000 if you cannot make it out to the corn crib to donate to seats for
Yeah, we're just stuffing it in here. We're just shoving it in.
I'm going to mute her mic, everybody. Yes, go text or seats to 77,000 to donate to Seats for Soldiers today. And don't forget to comment. Leave something in the comments. Ask us a question, anything like that. We are excited to be able to interact with you. I even sometimes see there's hecklers and stuff like that in the comments. And we love when you comment too. Just like stay as respectful as you can. But if you disagree with us, let us know and tell us why, because that's the foundation of civil discourse here in the free nation of America. We have a republic if we can keep it. And I think that's such an amazing quote from Ben Franklin. If we have a republic if we can keep it. I believe it was Ben Franklin. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Let me know. But we are heading into the last hour of the Morning Buzz with Kat Peterson, and right now with myself, Kev Ferris. I'm a college student, and so I'm coming in at 6 a.m. for this. Not totally easy, but we got Kat who's sitting back down here. Let's see what else she might have to say as she gets her headphones back on.
Nope, I'm okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. But
it's sad to say. Everything just it's fantasy.
Looks like she's still probably talking to our good friend over there. Can't totally hear him either. But this is the thing when we got live stuff going on, when it comes to Cities 92.9 and all the live stuff we do, is you can't always we're flying by the seat of our pants a little bit. I'm producing as much as I can. I hope everybody enjoys what we've been bringing to you guys on Cities 92.9. Pretty much most of the graphics and everything I did. And so I'd hope if you guys support it, please just at least give a like, subscribe, and a share. I really appreciate it. Kat is back. How's it going, Kat?
I'm back. I'm so sorry. Poor Kevin. He's like, oh my gosh, where'd she go? No, Bruce, he stopped by. I mean, this was incredible. You know, we have donations to Hope for the Warriors here, and the McLean County Sportsman Club is just so incredible. They made this $300 donation. They're encouraging people to match that. So that's really, really kind of him to have come out here. And I did not even know, like, I know Bruce very, very well because we go to the gym and I see him pretty much every day because we go to the same gym. And I did not even know his son was in Syria. He's a great man. And that is just so 16 years. Can you imagine 16 of your years of your life dedicated to this country and not having the same freedoms that you and I have, Kev? So whenever we want, we can go to the grocery store and pick up a pint of ice cream. We can, like, he can't do that. He's got a job to do, and he's in Syria, right? And like, they don't have grocery stores full of ice cream and pizza. He's dealing with
to be locked up.
Yeah. Like you don't get the same freedoms we have here in the United States in countries like that. And he's there working and anesthesiologist putting people under. So, and you know, surgeries, things like that. So that's insanity. That I didn't even know that. So, and then we also had Jeremy DeHigh come out. He's a Unit 5 school board member. Shout out to him. Show Jeremy some love in the text line 309-451-9299. Throw it in the comments. We love you, Jeremy. He's a Unit 5 school board member. And he came out and he donated some money. So very, very kind of him. We're going to be out here until Friday, folks. Thanks so much for coming in. And are coming out here to the crib. I've had a lot of folks come out already. I think we had more folks this year than we have last year, so that's exciting. Come out. I remember last year they all came at 9 o'clock. It's like you guys don't like to get up in the morning. But we're gonna be back, Kev. What do you want to talk about?
Oh man, well we could do we could get into the Jason Aldean thing a little bit more. I added a little bit of context in there with Sheryl Crow going after, which is another country artist, Sheryl Crow going after Jason a little bit in a tweet, and so we could cover a little bit more of that if you're interested. I'm looking. I got to be honest, it's been a little bit of a slow news week so far. I mean, it's the biggest thing being the Jason Aldean story, but I was talking a little bit, and I told you a little bit about this earlier. I have an interview scheduled today that it's going to air tomorrow on my YouTube, and we could maybe use a little bit of it on the Morning Buzz tomorrow, of an Indiana University student who is being censured by the student government as he sits on the student government because during Pride Month he called out their student government for supporting LGBTQ causes and claiming, I believe, that was a violation of religious liberty. And so I'm going to be doing an interview with him about that today, which will air tomorrow for
Wow.
stuff. I know, fascinating. And that's the kind of stuff I like to cover on my show. Obviously, Speechless, being a voice for the voiceless when it comes to the conservative movement, especially on college campuses. So.
Yeah, and I will never forget. I know you talked about it on your show last week, and you went into details that I didn't even really pick up on about this professor that hip tossed you for putting up signage regarding TPUSA.
Back when I was a freshman. Yep.
I mean, what you have gone through on that campus, I mean, you could fill books about, Kevin.
One day.
You were kicked out of the Bone Student Center for wanting to ask a question of a candidate.
Yep.
Like the same center that you paid
that I paid for. Yep.
For. And your student there. Yeah, it's incredible. And it was an open forum.
I know. And we're about to come back. And so we can even cover any of that if you want to.
Conservative talk show that examines today's stories through a brand new lens. This is the Morning Buzz, brought to you by McLean County Asphalt. They've been repairing driveways for more than 50 years. The Morning Buzz with Kat Peterson on Cities 92.9.
Jeremy DeHai, a Unit 5 school board member, he made a massive donation and he came here and he picked up his t-shirt for Seats for Soldiers. You're like, Kat, you hear? I'm listening to you on the radio and you sound a little different. I hear some noise in the background. You're not in studio because I'm watching you on the Facebook live stream, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. I'm watching you. And where are you? Well, I'm at the Corn Crib. I'm at the Corn Crib in North Normal, right by Heartland Community College. We are soliciting people to try to come out and make donations. I want you to come here in person, say hello. It's very nice. You can pop on the radio. We just saw Bruce. Bruce told me that he is just disappointed to see that all of this very real stuff is happening. There was actual news footage in Jason Aldean's powerful video called Try That in a Small Town. Bruce, his son, is in Syria right now and has dedicated 16 years of his life to the army. And we are praying for his safe return home. And we are praying for his work that he finishes his work in Syria. And, you know, he's the type of person we want to help here through Hope for the Warriors. They are working with Central Illinois veterans and their families from all branches of the government, enlisted to deployed. So they help out families like Bruce. We're going to be here broadcasting 36 hours straight. We're putting flags on the back of the seats here in the Corn Crib. They have a home game on Friday night. So we're going to be here 6 p.m. July 21st. Special thanks to McLean County Asphalt, Tax and Accounting Plus, Ace Hardware, Four Seasons Health Club, SEFQ, Tenpac Enterprises, Miller Lite, and Wilbur Group. They're all partnered with us through the sixth annual Seats for Soldiers event. And Jeremy DeHai made a donation. Bruce made a donation through the McLean County Sportsman Club. I so do appreciate all of their good work. Now, one thing that I wanted to hit on was this Jason Aldean it's like a Antifa BLM song, and the left-wing outrage is insane. They have been melting down about this song for legitimately no reason at all, because one, it's been out since May. Two, they're using actual news footage showed in this powerful video that he released with this song, and the CMT has been canceled, or they canceled him, so they aren't letting the video be played on the network. And I should point this out, CMT is owned by MTV Networks, and that is a New York City based company, right? So they have no idea what country is, bottom line. Okay, so that's why they canceled it. They don't understand you. They don't understand that you're dealing with the crime that is running rampant in these small towns. The media has labeled this song a modern lynching song, very scary, racist. They say that the lyrics are racist. Kev, you've actually got some more details about this, but first let's listen to the song a little bit, and then we're going to talk about some more details that have come out about Jason Aldean and his cancellation. I think somebody is tweeting about him, so we'll get to that here in just a second. Let's play the clip.
Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, I muted the site. Just getting it here.
Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road.
All right.
Around here we take it.
There you go.
So that was Jason Aldean. I mean, so powerful. I mean, spit on a flag, or spit in a cop's face, stomp on a flag, light the flag up. I mean, that's why we're out here today, folks, and we're collecting these donations, because there's people out there who have signed their name on the dotted line not knowing if they're going to come back. No greater love than this, than to lay one's life down for a friend. The fact that we had BLM and Antifa members lighting up American flags is all you really need to know. That's real news footage in that clip. So I don't know why people are calling it a modern day lynching song. There is no reference to race at all in that song. It's just a video that uses real news footage.
So I have a little bit of context about all this. So first off, when it comes to the modern day lynching thing out of Fox News, so the reason why it's being called a modern day lynching song is because of the location of which the music video was filmed. So the courthouse location for the small town music video was apparently a Tennessee Maury County courthouse, which was also actually, interestingly enough, included in Hannah Montana, the movie back in the day. The reason why they're calling this a modern day lynching song is because this courthouse was the site of a 1927 lynching and a 1946 race riot. However, Tacklebox, the company that produced the music video, told Fox News Digital that the courthouse is a, quote, popular filming location outside of Nashville that has been featured in a number of music videos and movies. In addition, Tacklebox noted that the 5-time Grammy Award winning nominee did not pick the location. It was a location that was chosen simply for its look, and again has been used in many different videos, movies, and such. Interestingly enough, Sheryl Crow, another prominent country artist, took to Twitter to blast Jason Aldean, saying, at Jason Aldean, she said, "I'm from a small town." She tweeted on July 18th, "Even people in small towns are sick of violence. There's nothing small town or American about promoting violence. You should know that better than anyone, having survived a mass shooting. This is not American or small town like. It's just lame." So claiming that Jason himself was promoting violence. In the same day, Aldean tweeted in a response to the controversy saying that he had been, quote, accused of releasing a pro-lynching song. He wrote that he did not intend to promote any kind of gun violence. He said, as so many have pointed out, I was present at the Route 91 shooting where so many lost their lives. And our community recently suffered another heartbreaking tragedy. No one, including him, wants to continue to see senseless headlines or families ripped apart.
Exactly. And little fun fact about that shooting that he was in attendance at, that shooter has not yet been found. So our government has not yet found that shooter. It was I think it was a 2017 Las Vegas shooting, 2016 maybe. Yeah, no, they still haven't found that shooter. And like she doesn't get it, right? I mean, here in America, our small towns, what we desire are, our lawns. We like our safe communities. We want a place to raise our families. We like our low crime rates, and we like we love our children, and we want them to be left alone. And this is coming to a suburb near you. This is coming to your small town. If the leftist media and the radicals had it their way, they would have every small town just on fire. And I like the lyrics here. Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjack an old lady at a red light, and he corresponds all of that to real news footage. Okay. And like, I don't see where people can misconstrue. And like, here's another thing. The song came out in May. Yes, the video didn't come out until now, but I mean, the song came out in May, and I don't understand people's outrage about this. You would think as Americans, we could.
It's simple. It's because they don't. The thing is the video shows exactly what is happening in these urban areas, and so it doesn't fit their narrative. I mean, they want to defund the police. When they defund the police, things like this happen. But they don't, but that doesn't fit their narrative, because their whole idea is, well, you defund the police, you give them, you give community outreach programs, and that's going to lower crime. Okay, well, look how that's working for places like Chicago. Look how that's working. Crime is at an all-time high. Their government seems to be doing nothing about it. And then you have a great activist, basically, Jason Aldean. His wife even came out and said, there's no reason to apologize for anything. People are struggling with this. People are, and he's trying to connect. And country music right now is hitting all-time highs. I mean, last night by Morgan Wallen hit the #1 charts, not only of the country sphere, but also Billboard for like 14 weeks. You have Fast Car by Luke Combs, which is also getting hit as racist because it's a cover of Tracy Chapman's song, which is another story in and of itself. Yeah. Country right now is hitting its highest since like the 1990s, if not early 2000s. And the reason for that is because it's a genre that, one, is becoming super accepting. You have different genres of country. You have rock country, you have rap country, you have grunge country, you have so many different, you have pop country, so many different versions. It's becoming incredibly inclusive, but because it also stands for something that's much greater. It many artists. Bailey Zimmerman recently was featured on stage talking about God and talking about how important God is in his life. You have Jason Aldean, who comes out and calls out the senseless violence while also being told that he's promoting violence, because again, it doesn't fit the narrative. Country right now is honestly the artistic way of pushing against the woke narrative, and the woke is not standing for it. And so that's why they're going after Jason Aldean. That's why they go after people that decide to stand for something. We just had a texter text in. Thank you so much for texting in. Anybody can text in at 309-451-9299. And he had to say, you have to stand for something or you stand for nothing.
Yes.
And it's perfect. And even building off that, stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Mm-hmm. And, I really like this text. And Jason Aldean has a song about standing against violence. You have to stand for something. You stand for nothing, that text. But then also, to tie that text into this, military, they give up their own freedom so that way we can live freely. It's not living freely if you can't go and walk down a sidewalk without being sucker punched by somebody. Okay, Democrat progressive policies have turned American cities and American small towns into crime-infested serials because they want it to be exported out into the suburbs, the rural areas, the small towns where we enjoy things like low crime rates and streets that aren't covered in fecal matter. Oh, yeah. Which brings me to this. I do want to talk about San Francisco a little bit.
Before we get to San Francisco real quick, I'd hate to complain about something and not offer a call to action. Everybody, CMT is actively trying to, they pulled this music video. They pulled Jason Aldean's song. So boycott CMT, make them the next Bud Light. That's my call to action to everybody right now. CMT is not country. They're owned by Paramount, stationed in New York. Get rid of them. We don't need them. You can support the artists without supporting these massive conglomerates.
Exactly. And Paramount, as somebody pointed out earlier this morning, is the parent company to CMT, MTV. So if you have a Paramount subscription, I'd cancel it. I don't I don't see the reason to keep these people going if they're going to hate on people who are just saying the quiet part out loud. Everybody thinks it. Let's get to San Francisco. So San Francisco right now, they're dealing with rampant crime, as always. And I love mocking the rampant crime in progressive cities. It's fun for content, but it's also like very real. So there is no shortage of these videos coming out of San Francisco of school children needing to wade past a sea of homeless drug addicts to get to school. Plus, there's also the smell of poop in the streets, and there's men who mentor teens about the finer arts of doing fentanyl. Like, I've seen this guy step by step explain how he got teens hooked on fentanyl and how he got them fentanyl in San Francisco. I'm going to be talking about how they're locking up now videos of ice cream and frozen pizza. They're locking them up because they're afraid people are going to steal them at Walgreens. I've got that story here coming up next. I am out live at the Corn Crib. We are asking for donations for the Hope for the Warriors Foundation. They are helping Central Illinois veterans here in this community. You're going to want to come on out and make a donation today. Just $5 gets you a flag on a back of the chair here in the crib. We're going to try to fill all of the crib chairs with American flags today. So text the word seats, SEATS, to 77,000. That's our Jimmy John text line. I'm back after this.
The news is being brought to you by Tax and Accounting Plus. Focus.
Okie dokie.
Hey, if you're watching right now, smash that like button. You won't do it. I know you won't because you're afraid your boss is going to see that you liked the content. Just do it anyway. Okay. Be a rebel and like the content. I know you're watching. Just like it. So, we're going to get to that San Francisco bit. I can't believe it. Like, straight up, there is videos of school children wading past this sea of drug addicts to just try to get to school. Like, they've got their backpacks on and they're like stepping over needles to get to school. And now they have to lock up pizza and ice cream because and it's not just that, it's other low value items like toothpaste and tissues as well. Daily Mail is reporting thieves come into the stores as much as 20 times a day to fill bags full of products that they have no intention of paying for. Yeah, so we actually here in the state of Illinois, I think we have some sort of policy that makes it to where you can't chase somebody if they steal something under $1,000. So there's like a no chase policy in Illinois.
I got to find this story too. There was a guy that was fired for in like Oklahoma or something for filming people that were looting from the store that he was working at.
Wow. While you're finding that, I do want to address this texter. This is pretty funny. Chef Master Kega. Is it Keep America Great again or Keep America Great? A CAG. I love CAG. But anyway, so I like your username. I think it's funny. Joe Biden is a child sniffing weirdo. Yes. So we will be getting to that as well this hour. I talked about it in the 6 o'clock hour. We're doing a repeat. I tend to do that. Where we will talk about the Sound of Freedom actor Jim Caviezel. He is slamming Joe Biden for nibbling on this baby. Yes, Joe Biden nibbling on a baby. Like, I'm going to show you on the live stream here. That's what he was doing to a baby, like moving his mouth up and down on a child. Disgusting.
But yeah, so I found this story. It's out of Colorado. Supermarket employee fired for recording 3 men stealing $500 in laundry detergent. So Colorado employee was fired because he was recording these people. And he said, on quote, he said, when I looked, there was already a guy headed out with a food cart full of laundry detergent and scent boosters and what have you. My first instinct, record. A former military police officer walked out of the store. The 3 thieves hurried to load up a black Chevy Trax. One guy opening the doors, another throwing a basket full of items into the back seat. So he literally got fired for recording these people. It's insane. Like
There's also another one, Kevin, if you could find this one for me. 7-Eleven, there was a woman, she has a lawsuit against 7-Eleven because they fired her because she broke protocol, because I guess the protocol, it was Circle K, sorry, not 7-Eleven, Circle K. So there was a Circle K woman and she like pushed this guy. It wasn't even like she punched him or anything like this. This guy was coming back behind the counter at the Circle K and trying to rob her and steal cigarettes.
Yeah, still, I found this one. New York Post, Circle K clerk who has worked at store for 18 years sues after firing for touching shoplifter who stole cigarettes.
Yeah, she didn't even really like shove him. It's just kind of like she lays hands on him, and then he kind of gets out of there, because these people, and people have said it to me before, that they don't expect resistance. So these people are bullies, and when you meet them with just a little bit of resistance, that's when they start to break down.
Well, so I used to work at a Jewel Osco, and our protocol was like, if you suspect somebody of shoplifting, tell a supervisor. And then if you would tell the supervisor, it was basically just like, let them do it, and we'll like take the security cams and report it to the police. And that was about it.
Yeah, but this woman, like, you can't tell people not to defend themselves.
Oh, well, yeah, like if they're coming at you, like, but I'm just saying, like, even at like supermarkets, it's not like I said, I worked at a Jewel Osco, and like it's like, yep, you're not really supposed to do anything. Just like tell somebody.
That's so wrong. Like, those policies are disgusting, because you're forcing people into a very tough situation, because they're face to face with, well, if I come out of this alive, will I still have a job? And that is not something you should be thinking about.
And you're actively told, like, do not confront them. Also, you're about to come back.
Okay.
I think I'm going to cat. Yeah, off the cat.
3, 2.
All right. Well, you might be seeing some baseball players behind me here on the live stream, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter. I'm there. You guys can always check out the live stream, The Morning Buzz with Kat. Check it out on YouTube. Search Conservative Cat and subscribe to the channel and like the video if you're watching right now. I am live out at the Corn Crib, but we are trying to get as many donations as possible for this amazing organization that helps out Central Illinois veterans right here. They helped out 30 families last year. We raised $22,000. A $60 donation is going to get you one of these cool t-shirts. It's a commemorative t-shirt for our 6th annual Seats for Soldiers event. And a $5 donation is going to get you a flag on the back of one of these chairs here in the Corn Crib Stadium. We are going to be out here 36 hours straight broadcasting, trying to collect donations for this wonderful organization. And then $30, you could get a commemorative tumbler. And those tumblers are brought to you by Cherry Tumblers. A special thank you to McLean County Asphalt, Tax and Accounting Plus, Ace Hardware, Four Seasons Health Club. Now, McLean County Sportsman Club, they actually made a $300 donation this morning. I encourage people to match that this hour. I would love for you guys to match it. That would be really cool if we could do that by 9 o'clock. So come on out to the Corn Crib, make a donation in person. We're in North Normal, right here by Heartland Community College, or you could text the text line. It's the Jimmy John's text line, Seats, SEATS, to 77,000. Hope for the Warriors. They are a 4-star rated charity, and they are helping provide a full cycle of care to restore self, family, and hope to post 9/11 service members and their families and the families of the fallen. So they offer things, and I've seen it in person. They have these awesome medical equipment things that they give to severely injured service members. They also provide counseling. They also help. They specialize really in transitioning people from military life to back to civilian life, which is one of those major obstacles those brave men and women face. So come on out. Before we took the break, we were talking a little bit about CMT, Jason Aldean. I also was talking about these progressive cities and their crime and how it's gotten so bad they're locking up pizza and ice cream now. So get this, San Francisco, the Walgreens, they have started locking up frozen food aisles to prevent people from stealing pints of ice cream and frozen treats. So Ron DeSantis actually went out to San Francisco. Kevin, your thoughts about the rising crime in places like San Francisco, and do you think that crime is a major part of the Republican platform going into 2024?
Well, I think crime should be a major part of the Republican Party platform.
Money guys right over there.
Oh, you getting a donation right now?
Yes. So I am getting a donation right now for Hope for the Warriors. We're live on air, and he is getting his check over to Chris Murphy, who does our sports here in the morning. He's out here, and our sister stations are out here, 107.7 The Bull, Magic 99.5. We're getting a live donations. I'm collecting donations right now. So sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
No, totally. We are going to come up against the break here real quick in a sec, but real quick, yes, the Republican Party should be focusing on crime, but from all areas. We should be focusing on local crime. If you have anybody running for state rep, or if you have a city council election coming up, or even Congress, that's what should be focusing significantly on local crime. But we should also be asking our federal legislators to be focusing on larger crime issues as well. The Sound of Freedom recently came out, which we talked about as well, and that focuses significantly on pretty much the largest business in the world, human trafficking. More slaves being trafficked today than any time since slavery was legal. And so that we should be focusing on crime and attacking it at all fronts. Right now, you have a Democrat Party who actively pushes to not secure our southern border, where the majority of humans are trafficked in the United States. We also have a Democratic Party that pushes ideas like defund the police or end cash bail, let criminals back on the streets, don't prosecute rapists, murderers, etc. Yes, the Republican Party, if they are not already, if your candidate is not already, they should be focusing on crime at all levels.
Yes, and you spoke about crime at all levels. This is a real story coming from Greensboro this morning, North Carolina. 2 people were arrested for a slew of charges, including human trafficking and promoting prostitution in connection to this alleged operation. So it was a man and a woman working in conjunction with each other. I've got that story plus more here on the Morning Buzz. Sound of Freedom, the Jim Caviezel actor, he is slamming Joe Biden for nibbling on a baby. So I've got all of this and more ahead on the Morning Buzz. Like always, you can text in at 309-451-9299. We have another text line going today. You can text the word SEATS, SEATS, to 77,000. Make a donation to Hope for the Warriors so they can help Central Illinois families and veterans, families of veterans today.
Okay, off air now.
Okay. I'm looking. I think we had somebody make a donation today, which was awesome.
Awesome. From the text line.
Oh yeah, those are just coming in.
Thank you guys, everybody who's supporting.
Thank you.
Even if you're not from Bloomington Normal, if you're watching on YouTube or anything like that, you could still text in. You could still donate. It goes not only to local veterans, but also to veterans across the nation. So,
Hope for the Warriors, they look for need here in the community, and they will provide things like medical equipment, PTSD counseling. They even provide things like scholarships and even job training, which, believe it or not, is a big thing that veterans go through. When they come back to civilian life, what happens is a lot of the time what they'll do is not know how to go through a normal job training. Like, you and I, we sit down through these modules, and it's just like, not that they don't know how, but it's just like they can't get themselves
been trained for. So
yeah, they can't get themselves out of this heightened state of being deployed. So yeah, make a small donation, big or small, we'll take them all. Coming up, we are going to be talking about Sound of Freedom, Jim Caviezel roasting Joe Biden there and saying that he would pop him.
Absolutely. When you come back live on air too, we just got a text regarding like how exactly to donate and what types of payments you can use. Maybe address that on air.
Okay.
To people.
Hey, if you show up live to donate, can debit card or strictly cash? Yeah, we take cash or check. No debit cards.
Yep. Again,
we're not that cool.
Might be a good one to point out on it.
Yep. Now
we want everybody to donate. We want you to donate. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be huge. We're gonna love it.
Point of order, please. It is not that we like laws. We have morals that guide our behavior. Laws allow us to correct your moral compass. Yes. So you should be acting more like we are going to be in a state of lawlessness. Now, I am very optimistic when it comes to local folks here in McLean County working against the horrors that is the Purge Law Safety Act. I talked with Erica Reynolds, our state attorney, and she said, I'm just going to have to get creative in my arguments.
Yeah. And we've talked to Matt Lane before about it as well. And he's trying to do it, our sheriff here. And he's looked at a lot of different opportunities to try to subverted a little bit,
Yeah, they're just going to have to get creative. Now, we're talking about people who commit things like domestic abuse, domestic batterers, being out without any kind of bail, not posting any kind of bail. They get out. And, it used to be where the judge could make all of these decisions. Okay, we've got a domestic abuser, and this domestic abuser is a danger to society and a danger to this victim. We're going to hold him with a $3 million bail. He's not going to be able to make that. So that is a way to, keep him from getting out and causing further damage to a victim. But this is anti-victim, this Safety Act that was upheld by the Illinois Supreme Court. I think a very biased Illinois Supreme Court, being that 2 of these Illinois Supreme Court justices received $1 million donations from our boy, Governor J.B. Pritzker.
It's a button paid for Supreme Court. We all know it. Button paid for. In Illinois.
Button paid for. In Illinois.
In Illinois, it's some of the most corrupt things I've ever seen.
It's so fun when she was running, Mary Kay O'Brien, I'll never forget it. So she was running and she was a candidate, and I posted her campaign contribution while she was running of a $1 million. And I posted it on her campaign page. So she blocked me from her campaign page. I know of this woman, and it's funny because her child is actually kind of conservative. Well, posts conservative things on his social media. But I thought it was kind of interesting. You've got like a wokesy mom, but like then your son is based. It's like, what? How does that work out?
Redfield, based in Red Pill. I've been getting really into the Trump impression recently. I do it a lot on my show. I'm just like,
based. Yeah, I love it. Benny Johnson, he came out with something about Donald today. And, make no mistake, folks, they are going to be going around to 50 states, all 50 states trying to knock Donald Trump off of the ballot. And here's how they're going to do it. The 14th Amendment says no person who is engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States can serve in federal office. That's what the 14th Amendment says. Now, what did they charge they're looking to charge Donald Trump with? It's January 6th insurrection crap. And we know that, we knew this was coming. I saw it on the writing on the wall. We're coming back.
The app and stream Cities all day long. Cities 92.9.
3, 2.
Kat, I want to donate live in person, and I'm curious, do you take debit card or do you just do strictly cash? Well, we do cash and check, folks, and we are out here live at the Corn Crib, and we are collecting donations for Hope for the Warriors. They're a nonprofit organization helping out Central Illinois veterans and their families. So they helped out about 30 families last year, $22,000 last year. We want to do way more. We want to do way more good for this community through Hope for the Warriors. And the way you do that is either by coming here in person, cash or check only. And you can write a check out to Hope for the Warriors. The Corn Crib, we're going to be broadcasting 36 hours straight, raising awareness about those who have helped serve this country and the problems that they're going through right now, like PTSD, transitioning back to civilian life. Hope for Warriors, their belief is that no one should be left behind. That includes veterans, but also their family members. They are providing a full cycle of care to restore self, family, and hope to the post 9/11 service members, their families, and the families of the fallen. So Seats for Soldiers, it's going to be ending here July 21st. So that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. right before a Corn Belters home game. Be a part of this. It's truly amazing to see you guys come out. We had Jeremy DeHaye, Bruce, Doug, Dale come out this morning. The McLean County Sportsman Club, they all came out and they made a donation to Hope for the Warriors. Now, donations of $30 get you a tumbler from Cherry Tumblers, and $60 gets you a t-shirt. So we will be out here broadcasting live. I'm doing my show here live. Now, before we took the break, we were talking a little bit about the Sound of Freedom, Jim Caviezel slamming Joe Biden for nibbling on a baby. Yes. I've got the clip here. Now, the Sound of Freedom actor, he's the actor, and it's all based off of a true film or true story. Tim Ballard, he plays Tim Ballard in the film, and he spoke against President Joe Biden's repeated, and this is the key word here, repeated behavior towards children. Let's roll the clip here, Kev, of Joe Biden, and they're talking about, and it's on the Benny Johnson show, about this viral video, and if you haven't seen it, it's like Joe Biden going up to a small child during some sort of like appearance, and he starts nibbling on this kid. Let's play it.
It does cross the line with children. It makes our skin crawl. We do talk a lot about politics on this show, and a piece of video that crossed our screens on our cell phones from last Friday was Joe Biden essentially biting a child. You can see it here, pop it up on screen. He's like biting a stranger's kid, like going and nibbling a child. You're a father. I'm a father. I would never let a demented pervert like this anywhere near my children. Yeah, how dare you touch another person's child like that? And it does speak to sort of an underlying disrespect of children. Whether you
look at the parent though that's sitting there, just admiring him for it. I'd have pushed him off so quick.
What would you do if Joe Biden did that to your child, Jim? What would you do?
The Secret Service would have tackled me because I'd have popped him.
Because that's a deeply inappropriate way to touch a child.
Mm-hmm. A child that's not yours, right? I mean, like, that's not your kid, Joe. Stop touching him.
He's taking kissing babies to a new level. It wasn't enough for him that he to the traditional politician trope of kissing babies. No, he's like, well, I want to get a piece of that. So he's trying to bite him, everybody. He's trying to bite him. And he apparently, people let him do it.
So strange and bizarre. Now, Caviezel, like Joe, is a Catholic. Allegedly, Joe Biden is a Catholic.
See, here's the thing. As a Catholic myself, I in the majority of Catholics I know do not consider Joe Biden to be a Catholic. Like, one, being pro-choice, pro-abortion, not a Catholic. Like, that alone, along with the many other things surrounding him and his family, not a Catholic. But
not a Catholic.
Not a practicing one, at least.
Yeah, and the reason why I don't think he's Catholic is because he's not standing up against things. Actually, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, we remember this story. It's this anti-Catholic transgender drag group that was stripping on the cross, and that's deeply offensive. And they were given some sort of community hero award at the Dodger Stadium last month. And I'm just thinking to myself, Joe Biden, you should be speaking out against this as a Catholic if you were one.
But instead he holds a massive pride party at the White House in which there are two pride flags sandwiching an American flag held at the same height. So basically what he's saying with that, the imagery of that represents the idea that to him and to the decorators, and I mean, he obviously had to approve it, pride, in terms of the LGBTQ pride, is equivalent to America and American pride.
And get this, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, Kev, the founder of that organization, the drag group, was a Biden cabinet member, or not cabinet, but worked as the Biden administration. It was Sam Britton. He was the nuclear or something like that, nuclear program czar or something like that. It's just like, of course, he's not only quiet, he's not quiet about he's for it. It's not that he's even against it for it. He should be against it if he's a Catholic, but he's pro drag queen. He's pro
child mutilation
and child trafficking. That's what a lot of these people are, these leftists who are melting down about this film. It's incredible for me to see these people defending defending pedophiles and defending child traffickers. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And actively working against it. I mean, the Sound of Freedom had multiple articles written against it that claimed it was there was actually one from the Rolling Stone that made a lot of, the article itself made a lot of headlines simply because of its headline itself. It says I'm sorry, I pulled up the wrong article here. From the Rolling Stone, the title of this article is Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brain worms. The subheadline, the QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer. Like they're actively trying to frame this movie as if it's all just for wacko conspiracy theorists or something, you know?
It's truly disturbing to see people say that this is a QAnon film. You saw it yesterday, actually, Kevin. I mean, was it conspiratorial?
It was not. And again, and I believe I said these off air, and I think they're worth saying again. So again, they try to frame. There's also an NPR article. We all love our publicly funded radio, don't we? I'm just kidding. But there was an NPR article that in the article it said that it embellished the experience of human trafficking and child trafficking. Not at all. One, it's not a conspiracy theory. Here's some statistics for you from the United States State Department. There are 27.6 million trafficked people globally today, and almost 20% of them are children. Approximately 350,000 children are reported missing every year in the U.S. Of that total, an estimated 100,000 are being trafficked. Child sex trafficking has been reported in all 50 states. The 2021 Federal Human Trafficking Report stated that 57% of U.S. human trafficking victims were minors. Human trafficking is a $150 billion a year business. And for perspective on that, that's more than the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL combined. And it has eclipsed the illegal arms trade. $150 billion per year outweighs every single major sports league combined. So for anybody to say that this is a conspiracy, that this is QAnon, or that it's being embellished by this film is a flat out liar that obviously has a nefarious agenda. There's also the report that Disney actually at one point, through their acquisition of 20th Century Fox, held the rights to this movie, but they shelved it. And the claim is that, it was because they acquired Fox during COVID, and so they didn't release a lot. They didn't even know about owning this movie. But isn't it a coincidence that in 2022, there was 108 people arrested in Florida, 4 of which were Disney employees, one of which a judge on child sexual exploitation charges? Isn't it coincidence? I don't know. I don't believe
I don't think so. Yeah, I think the other day I was talking about he wrote for HuffPo, WAPO, and he wrote up an article in Bloomberg, and he was saying that it's QAnon film and blah, blah, blah. And then you get into looking at his record. Turns out this writer was the writer who was, anti Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
He was actually an advocate for MAP. So minor attracted
persons. Yeah.
Yes. So he was an advocate for them, and he was actively fundraising for minor attracted people. Let's call them for what they are, pedophiles. Now, I do want to shift gears, and you guys have been texting me about this all morning, so I'm addressing it, right? The school board for one of the Central Illinois largest school districts has won 4 years of labor peace with hundreds of teachers and support staff, and also rewarded the superintendent 7% pay for her leadership during what the board member described as unprecedented times. Of course, I'm talking about the Unit 5 school board meeting last night. They changed the union deals for teachers, and they wanted to raise all of the pay for administration, including the salary for the superintendent, which is already astronomically high. It's a real shame. We have Amy Roser, one of the school board members, praising YIKES for her excellent leadership guiding Unit 5 through the COVID-19 pandemic. And, this, I guess, YIKES will make a $206,000 salary plus a $45,000 stipend. They wanted you to vote yes for that tax referendum because of this. I told you that's why they wanted the tax referendum. That's why they wanted more money for them. And so that way they could get money for themselves. And then, it's just outrageous to me that you don't see the writing on the wall. And we had people, I have to, they're withholding sports, they're withholding curriculum or extracurricular activities. And it's just like, guys, they are giving themselves raises, and it's like they shut the school down. What do you mean?
And then even
working through unprecedented times, you shut the school down.
Yeah,
you weren't working.
There's that. Even on top of that, these people that we're praising, they're like, well, we need the tax thing to save the extracurriculars. Your kid's not going to have band. Your kid's not going to have band if we don't give the school board more money. Okay, well, now you're giving it to them, and now I guarantee you they're also going to start complaining that teachers aren't paid enough. Just saying.
Yeah. Well,
That's
and I'm sure
the
that
next
this
complaint that's going to come,
included
and
some sort of small pay increase, probably nothing compared to what the superintendent is going to be making. But the school district is significantly raising a monthly contribution to the teachers' health insurance from a current $690 to $725. So newly hired teachers can also receive $1,000 advance payment. So, I mean, in comparison to what the superintendent makes, I mean, they are getting pennies, right? Like the teachers are actually getting pennies. A salary for teachers, they boosted their salary to $2,000 or $2,000 more. A base annual salary for starting teachers increased to $42,000 at the end of 4 years from $40,000. So maximum salary for teachers is $100,000 with 23 years experience. So the most experienced teacher, 23 years of experience, the most experienced teacher makes half of what Dr. Weichel makes. We'll be back on the other side.
The news is being brought to you by the Deep End Tap.
Okie dokie, and we are still live, obviously, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I don't know, guys. This is what you get. You voted for it, right? There's Unit 5 school board members who will just continue to vote for these increases. And I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to go. I called it. I knew that they were going to raise this woman's salary for her work during COVID-19. From what I remember, the kids were miserable during COVID-19. They weren't even allowed to be in the classroom. So I don't know what you mean you did exemplary work. We all were going through crap during COVID-19, and it all sucked. But I'll tell you who actually deserves the pay raise: the parents who had to teach their kids extra during that time period because they were at home and they weren't getting anything from the online learning. You wanted to be a true leader. You wanted to really lead the Unit 5 school district there, Miss Superintendent. What you could have done was open up the school. Knowing what we know now, right? Opening up that school was a very serious or a very real possibility, and they didn't do it. Outrageous. All right, we are going to end the show. I do want to end the show. What do you want to end the show on, Kev?
Man, I can't believe I've been up this long already. Usually I'm waking up right about now. So what up to you, Kat.
All right.
I'm
Well,
not for anything.
I'm thinking that we're going to end it on Tucker Carlson and the relationship between Tucker Carlson and Hunter Biden, just because I find that stuff interesting. I can't wait for that biography to come out. I guess Chadwick Moore is working on a biography, folks. Tucker Carlson, the Carlson family had some ties with the Biden family. And by ties, I mean that there was a friendship there between Susan, who is Tucker Carlson's wife, and Kathleen, who at the time was Hunter Biden's wife. I don't even know if he's currently with Kathleen. I think he's not. But he cheated on Kathleen with his recently widowed sister-in-law. So there's a biography out there that talks about how Hunter Biden never used to be this raging leftist, but now he's all about trans rights and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he writes about how Joe Biden is actually like famously stupid. So I just find it interesting. I'm like, this is kind of, Tucker Carlson actually has ties to the Biden family a little bit.
There's Joe Biden has been famously stupid, though. There's even a skit from Robin Williams. Let me see if it's short enough, we could play it.
I saw this meme, and I can say this on the live stream, but Robin Williams, he was also another one that was really fighting against human trafficking and
I saw that.
The culture around Hollywood. And he said that it was and I'm sorry, but he committed suicide.
Yeah, he did. Apparently, that's what we're told.
Yeah, I don't know. People, it's not popular, right? And I think Mark Wahlberg is one of these newer ones who have come out and has said, he's anti-human trafficking. He doesn't like the Hollywood culture. I mean, Tom Holland, right? There are all kinds of these stars. And I think that's super important for our cause here, folks, because
We're about to come back, and this is a 30-second clip if you want me to play it. And I
Yeah.
don't believe-
What is it on?
It's Robin Williams. I have it on YouTube.
Yeah, let's play.
3, 2.
Tucker Carlson. He's got a biography out there, and his biographer, Chadwick Moore, is releasing little bits of it. And I've got some juicy details. So I guess Tucker Carlson has opened up in this biography about his battle with alcoholism. He said that he would have 4 vodkas for breakfast. I'm here at the Corn Crib live doing my show remotely. You guys can come out and donate in person. Just $5, big or small donation. We'll take them all. Hope for the Warriors is a nonprofit organization helping out Central Illinois veterans. They're trying to help veterans transition back to civilian life through PTSD counseling and through things like providing medical equipment, job training, all kinds of scholarships. They are a great foundation, and they've partnered with us for our 6th annual Seats for Soldiers. You can come out and donate today. Now, Tucker Carlson, he knows who Hunter Biden is because his wife was very close with Hunter's first wife, Kathleen, the wife of Hunter, whom he cheated on at the time with his recently widowed sister-in-law. That's the type of person this guy is. So now, before I get into the biography, we've got a clip from Robin Williams talking about how Joe Biden is stupid. And Tucker Carlson in his biography says, not that there was ever very much depth to Joe Biden. And he says, quote, he was famously stupid. Everyone always said he was stupid, and he said anything, so that hasn't changed. He was always skin deep, fake, shallow, with hair plugs and facelifts, and he was always very pat you on the back type stuff, and he was always very friendly, but he's famously stupid. So let's take a listen to Robin Williams. Here we go.
But now,
It's muted. Unmuting it now. Here we go.
But now we still have comedy, though. We still have great comedy out there. There's always rambling Joe Biden. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Joe says shit that even people with Tourette's go, no. No. What is going on? Joe is like your uncle who's on a new drug and hasn't got the dosage right. I'm proud to work with Barack America. He's not a superhero, you idiot.
There you go.
So there you have it, folks. Robin Williams calling him famously stupid, and everyone always said that he was stupid, and that's what Tucker Carlson said in his biography. He also said this: Hunter Biden was not always liberal. So that was kind of interesting in this biography that Chadwick Moore is kind of producing. He said that the Biden family was always very Catholic, and that Hunter Biden has since become a trans activist and an extremist, and he is anti-gun. And he said that Hunter Biden and his wife at the time, Kathleen, weren't for abortion. And Tucker goes into saying that the old Democrat Party, the working class Democrat Party, it just doesn't exist anymore. And I think that's so true. I can't wait for the biography to come out. And I can't wait for Carlson to come out with his new media empire that's whispered. I think hands down, he is one of the most important political figures of our lifetime, Kev. And this season, this moment in time that we are in, I think Tucker Carlson has a very important role to play. Like I said, I'm out here live at the Corn Crib collecting donations for Seats for Soldiers. It's Hope for the Warriors. Hope for the Warriors is a nonprofit organization, and the nonprofit organization is helping veterans here in our community. I think they helped 30 families last year. We raised $22,000. We're hoping to raise more this year. You can come out, make a donation, big or small. $60 will get you a t-shirt. $30 will get you a commemorative tumbler from Cherry Tumblers. A big thank you to our sponsors. That's Tax and Accounting Plus, McLean County Asphalt, Ace Hardware, Four Seasons Health Club, and then our title sponsors, that's CEFQ, Tintech Enterprises, Miller Lite, and the Wilbur Group. We're all here for Seats for Soldiers. This is a really special event for me. I get to see you guys, and to see the stadium full of American flags. Each American flag represents $5 donation that was made, and we're placing the flag on the seat. We also need help, folks, to get people out here to help us put those flags up on the seat. So that would be a great help. You're listening to Cities 92.9, and I think that's getting close to the end of the show here, Kev. Anything else you'd like to say?
Well, I just want to let everybody know. So I'm Kev Ferris. You might have heard me sometimes on the Morning Buzz. This time I joined Kat for the full 3-hour show, mainly because we needed help in studio. I have my own show on Cities 92.9 on Sundays from 3 to 5. It's Speechless. I'm a 22-year-old college student who has been through the thick of it, being a conservative on a college campus at Illinois State University. You can go check out my show on Sundays from 3 to 5. I also do a daily show on my YouTube. You can look that up, Speechless with Kev Ferris, last name Phares. Sounds like Ferris Bueller, but spelled a whole lot differently. And so if you want to check out any of that content, I am there consistently doing everyday news hits. And again, Sundays 3 to 5 on Cities 92.9. I'm your host then, but thank you guys so much. This has been the Morning Buzz. Kat, you can close us out. Minute left.
All right, folks. Like I said, we're out here at the Corn Crib. This is your chance to help Central Illinois veterans. Freedom isn't free. And there is a price for the freedom that we get to live in, the spoils that we get to relish in the spoils of being in America, because these brave men and women signed their name on that dotted line, and they need help transitioning back to civilian life. And who specializes in that? That's Hope for the Warriors. And we're out here collecting donations. So come on out. We'll be out here for 36 hours straight. I'm here until Friday, 6 p.m. You can come anytime in person and donate. Bye-bye. I love you guys. You have a great rest of your day. We'll do it again tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Much as you do. So right now, we're offering a free service call on any paid repair.
Okay, we're still... There we go. We're still live on Facebook and everything, and we can wrap it up if you'd like.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the live stream. Be sure to smash that like button. We'll do it again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye. Love you. See you later.